Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Let me do the intro because I still need to set up a couple things and then we're going to get started. I am using the mic. Thank you. She said she came in here to tell me use the microphone. I am using the microphone. Thank you. All right, let me hit this intro because we got to get started. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Ooh, hey, look at my hair's all crazy. Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. My goodness. Shout out to everybody. Happy Tuesday, July 28th, guys. We have to talk about a couple things here and there. Estella, Mom Erin, shout out to you, boo. Thank you so much for these sparkles. I wish I could see these animations. I wish I could. Like, Abby, thank you so much for the 20 jewels. Thank you, guys. There's got to be, like, I know y'all can see them in the chat. I just can't see them. I only get, like, the tagline, which is cute. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of want to see them, you know? I think it's cute when TikTok shows them. So I don't know. But shout out to everybody, guys, coming through. Thank you. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Just a quick question. Do I have any mods in the house? I didn't see any in the chat. We might need some wrench support. We might need a little hammer support. So I'm just gonna double check and see if I can get one here, because we're about to talk about something that's going to upset some folks, and that is okay, but I have to I got to address it. Hold up. Any mods available? Thank you. I don't see any in the chat. So before we get there, I know no free range, not this one, man. Yo, listen, I used to do it before, but then like people be cutting up. Okay. And this is like my house, you know? And when you're in my house, you're not allowed to flip over the table. Like you can't flip over like we have some etiquette, a little bit, not a lot, but we have some etiquette sometimes. Okay. Hey, Sylvia, I might have to give you a visiting mod wrench because I don't see a mod here just in case. Sylvia's like, what the hell? I don't know what a mod. Sylvia, Mike. Oh, no, here. All right, here you go. Oh, shout out to BJ. She said, I'm here for you, Rabbit. Thank you. Shout out to BJ. All right. It's okay. I mean, I don't, mods come and they do what they got to do. Oh, there's my other mod. Shout out to Pika. CP, I was like, I wasn't trying to call you or anything because you've been here since like yesterday and the day before. You say you'll I'll flip the table. BJ says she gonna escort you and flip the table. If you flip the table in my house, we're gonna have some problems. Thank you. No flipping tables. No. Keep it cute. All right. Okay. So let me address something. And I'm not going to say who and what creator. I don't think I need to because it's probably going to be like very obvious. I didn't really want to bring this up because I really like, especially with something like Celeste Rivas Hernandez and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get into the beef or drama. I mean, this is very typical of a lot of the cases that we cover here. There's always going to be like something, right? And I don't want this case to be that. I think for me, this case means way too much for a lot of us. And we want to keep it as professional and as much commentary following whatever rules have been laid out and everything as much as we want to, right? But during the week, you guys know that I had made a transcript request. I did, and I did receive the 21st. So then something happened on the 22nd, okay? And I was a little taken back by it because I have requested transcripts before and never have I received any kind of pushback. And I'm pretty sure that the powers that be, y'all can insert name. It's a lot of them. But it did come down to somebody on YouTube that requested the transcripts that was basically reselling the transcripts. Okay. I don't listen. I tell the people, hey, donate. I don't tell you, I just tell you to donate. Okay. Because donations can go to Happy Meals, burritos, donations can go to documentation, donations can go to all kinds of things. Right. So for me, when I heard this, I said, well, look, I read the transcripts and I sure as hell didn't resell any transcripts. That's a very specific thing. So my understanding, having seen that communication with the court reporter directly, is that you are essentially somebody that requested the transcripts was reselling them. They basically said, send me $10 and you will get a transcript. Okay. So that was one of the reasons why there was like a delay. Now I could have said this yesterday, I could have said it the day before, and I really held back because I said, let me do my own little research and find out what had happened. Okay. Here's the issue too. If you buy transcripts, like there's every jurisdiction, every court reporter has a certain, they have the rules and stuff like that, and it's backed by the court system and stuff like that. So I'm not really making things up or anything like that, right? But it's very specific about reselling. So I think we have to be very careful. This case is going to trial, and I don't want to. I don't know if we'll be able to get transcripts for that trial. Are we going to have to wait? So of course, we made our request for yesterday, and we will likely, it sounds like we will likely get them on or about August 6th, maybe before August 6th, on or about August 6th. That's my understanding of that request. Okay. So the purchase has been made, all the stuff has been done and everything. So we should be good. There was a change. My understanding from what I was told, there was a change of a court reporter on Thursday. So that's a different request to a different court reporter, so we have to wait for that. But I want to be like, my understanding, and I read directly that it said that somebody on YouTube, through a YouTube streamer, was reselling the transcripts, and they were reselling them for $10. Very specific. And so then the other thing too is like, some of the, like, for example, it's not an issue to read the transcripts. That's not the issue, because ultimately the document is transformed. We put a watermark. Everybody, like Kadisha Lynn, BJ, all these people, First Liberties, Abraham, everybody came up. We give commentary to the document. You know, we're not just reading it straight through. So there is no copyright issue for us. We're good. The issue is that you just have to, like BJ, for example, she gave commentary to her document. She has to give commentary. She makes it transformative. She's not like, she's giving her opinions, which makes that whole thing transformative, which is fine. That's not the issue. The issue is reselling. Okay. And my thing is that this would be different. And this is what pisses me off. And I am pissed off still. This would be different if the issue was, oh, this was like an honest mistake from like a YouTuber, you know, she didn't know. No, bitch. Like, this person has fucked it up for us before. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, go back to 2023. Okay. Like, and I'm not going to call her out by name. I just think it was pretty effed up. Like, in multiple, it was a multiple times. Hey, and I'm not the one who makes the rules, guys. I just want to make sure that the people here are aware and informed of what is going on, right? So, yeah. Well, I mean, Kadisha Lynn, you would think if you're doing this shit for 10 years on YouTube, giving true crime, you know, commentary, okay, you doing true crime. This is the kind of stuff that you would know. You would know this. But hey, man, you said, I think this is all a farce. Truly, they're using as a fake excuse to hide things from the public and violate rights. And it could very well be the case. To me, it's like, listen, y'all already see the DA that we have. And, you know, she's where she's at right now because she's the DA, right? So it's like, I don't want to give anybody the reason or an excuse to blame things or stop things. So I said, well, damn, let me just put this out here. Because we are going to trial, can we please conduct ourselves like we know what the fuck we're doing online? Like, that's what I want. You know, do what you may, what you want or whatever. You know, for me, it's like, I don't think that the reporters were necessarily upset because this is a high profile case. There's people that, and I think it really is interesting that, my opinion, I didn't see this in the Tory Lanez case, right? When it was, you know, trending and everything a couple years ago. We didn't see any of that. We didn't see any. I think about all the high profile cases out there, you know, when all these networks are doing different things. So we have to be able to just be ready for it. Okay. Sorry, guys. You said they're going to do this again at the trial and have a convenient excuse of violating rights. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I hate that this is what's happening, but ultimately, like, I'm still willing to play by the rules, you know, because we have to. One person can mess it up and everything for everybody. We want all the clarification on what happened. That's it. And the thing is this is where I was getting at last time. It's like, you know, as YouTubers, we get a lot of crap when we don't report correctly, or we're talking about a case, you know, and we're not, you know, we're just commentators online. I'm just a girl, okay, who that's it. Like, I'm just an online commentator. If you're looking for, you know, a Banfield, an Ashley Banfield, she got her channel. If you're looking for somebody more, you know, aesthetically pleasing for the network, I'm for the people. For the people, by the people. That's kind of how I see myself, right? Not everybody's going to like me. That's fine. But I'm for the people, by the people type of situation. That's how I see myself. You're going to find that everywhere. My opinions are just that. They're not facts. But I know that one of the biggest struggles that we have as online commentators is that they're always looking to see what the hell we're doing wrong here online. And so for us, we can't give them that. Okay, so if you've been doing this for a couple years, please get your shit together. Don't resell shit you're not supposed to resell, because it fucks it up for everybody else, honestly. And I don't know. That's what I got to say. You said we're not fancy over here. I don't go live on, I'm not wearing a flannel today. Okay, I got my shirt at Walmart. Like, that's the kind of girl that I am, y'all. I like the 50% off, and I go to the thrift shops. That's how I am. Regular person, you know. You're not going to get, you know, Liz Vargas or any of this shit over here. I can't even fake it if I tried. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you got to be able to, I don't know, get your shit together. If you're going to talk about this case means a lot to a lot of us. Okay. I mean, some of us, it just does, you know? Yeah. And they are watching, guys. They are watching us. We have to, they're watching us. They're watching YouTubers. So please, we're going to trial. I don't know what they're going to pull. I don't know if it's going to be like, well, you can't get the transcripts until after the trial. Like that would be so messed up. That would be so messed up of everything. So we needed to be able to do a little bit better. But this is what I'm saying, is that we get a lot of ish when we don't get things correctly, when we're misreporting. But the minute that we try to do things correctly, like get the documents so that we aren't reporting false information, we get reprimanded for it. So that's the part that I don't like. That I don't. That's why I got to say about that. So there is a delay currently, and once there's no delay, then we'll move forward. But at the same time, I do want to say, shout out to the court reporters out there in LA County. If there's feedback that you can give us, some of the YouTubers that are willing to listen, like myself and others, let us know, man, because we are not trying to overstep or break any rules. We're totally for following the rules. I consulted with a friend that I have as a court reporter, and then I also consulted with a lawyer too. Everything that we do here, whether it's a work product, everything is transformative. We ain't trying to take off of anybody. We're not, if I say donate to the channel, nobody knows what those donate. That could be documentation or anything. So I ask you guys to please do your best in following those rules. That's coming from me, who wants to continue to provide you guys documents. I'm sure that BJ, Kadisha, and everybody here is, probably feels the same way. Flo, Joe, everybody. We're just trying to do things right, right? It would be the same thing if we were in the court. We would have to follow those rules, correct? I don't think I'm making anything up when I say that. And we would, okay? So that's what I want to get at. You said I'm getting FOMO, not knowing. Wow, girl, it's not even worth it. Like I said, I'm not even gonna. I have to kind of wonder. I don't get it. To me, if I had ever done something years ago, a couple of years, not that long ago, where I had to be called out, and I was called out by a lot of people, I'd have to be careful. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be careful. So you would think you'd learn from that, but I don't know. You said, I'm really disappointed for real because I have so many questions that I wanted clarified sooner than later. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know. But like I said, shout out to the court reporters out there. They're working their asses off. No shade. We are upset. For me, I'm upset because I feel like we could have done a little bit better, You said, so another creator said that David was with other minors at the same time as Celeste. That's what we heard as well. Actually, that was the information that we heard as well too. The unfortunate thing about this issue is that the mainstream media doesn't like the fact that YouTubers are even allowed in the courtroom. That's right. And request transcripts. Majority of us get the news from YT. Well, and I'm not History to Sleep channel. Shout out to, I like your name. I'm not telling you guys who to vote for. This is me, right? Like, y'all are not coming here for politics. I'm not selling you any of that. You don't have to, you're not coming for that here, right? And that's the piece that I really wanted to make sure, some people just get tired of networks, and it's the networks that are out there. So we're not that. I can tell you the creators here in this chat, they're not that either. So you'll get what you get, right? That's how it is. Sorry, y'all. You said, let's see. Y'all are so funny. I got to read some of these. You said, not their fault, the ones who ruined it. Yeah, it's not the court reporter's fault. I must say that. It's the people that ruin it for everybody else. I will say that. So yes, if you do buy transcripts, please don't resell your transcripts. Like, don't do that. It's one thing for somebody to donate. Don't be. And I can only imagine how insulting that is too, that you're the court reporter and you're typing all of this information. You're sitting there for 8 hours, right? And I feel for them too, guys, because I'm assuming they probably had to look at the exhibits too, right? They got the up close to the exhibits because they're over here like this. And she was dismembered. You know what I mean? Like, and you have to, I don't know how they do it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't take away from their work. I am upset because I feel like, well, some of this, for some of us that can't go, Some of the stuff should be free, but this is not free for folks, right? And if this is how they earn their money, we can't take away from that. We can't. We have to be very careful. You said, and you're taking away from the court reporter because that's how they make their money. Yeah. So you gotta understand. I get that sense. I get upset when there's limited access, and not only that, we don't get the transcripts, right? That pisses me off. And I do stand by that. If they're free, then they should be compensated, right? Our tax money is there. They should be compensated to be able to provide this service, right? So I'm upset for a lot of reasons, but I'm not perfect. I can make mistakes. I'll call myself out on them. Hey, I said this and that and the other. But we're going to get them. We're going to transform them. We're going to, the information won't be shared as verbatim. We're going to do our best here. I've already reached out to First Liberties and Abraham and, asked them to help me while we read them when we get them, if we get them. And we'll stop and you guys will give commentary. Y'all going to help me out. And we're going to do that. Okay. And we're going to follow the rules because that's what we do. Okay. And if we don't know a rule, we're going to ask about it. That's right. That's right. So, oh, really? The court reporter marks the exhibits. So they have to look at these exhibits. Can you imagine looking at Celeste's body in the picture? I can't imagine how they do it, man. I really can't. You said, yep. She kept saying through the whole stream, donate 10 and I'll send you a copy. You guys, I need to make the cost back. She ruined it for all of us. And guys, let's be very clear. It's not like you're going to break the bank. Okay. I've put in money to this platform. Okay. And I'm not, YouTube isn't the greatest pay. Please note that, but you have to put in money. You have to invest in certain aspects. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in certain things, right? So yes, we're not billionaires here, but we do invest, and that's what we do. And then we hope that, it's made out. Maybe somebody sends you a super chat, or they send you a Cash App, or they send you a whatever it may be. And we're able to make it up that way. And y'all don't even know how thankful I am for that. Please note that. But, we do invest. That's how we do it. Nothing is easy when it comes to this. It really isn't. And like Abraham, for example, or First Liberties, like, giving commentary is that. StreamYard is a cost. The internet is a cost. If I don't have internet, I can't work, right? All of this, but we have to do a little bit better. I'm a little upset. I'm upset a lot. I was upset when I heard, and then I was upset when I heard who it was. And I was like, oh, anyways, that's what I got to say. Yeah. And donation, by the way, and this is why I had to talk to, because I want to make sure I'm not breaking the rules, guys. I want to make sure I'm not. So I was like, well, let me talk to some folks that know the ins and outs of this. And it's a little bit different. A donation, I'm not reselling anything. Nope. Mickey, thank you so much for the jewels. Thank you. In the floating heart. Thank you. Sorry, I just clicked and said you literally have to desensitize yourself. They teach you in school. Unfortunately, court reporters hear and see the worst things ever. That's what I'm saying, is like you're literally looking at these crime scenes. So we can't take that for granted. Okay. I'm not mad at the court reporters. They got to do what they got to do. I'm mad at the process, and I'm mad at the fact that we bitch about the red tape, but we're not doing better. We have to do better. Okay. We can't fit into the stereotypes that they've put us in. We have to do better. And when we make mistakes, we have to learn how to eat those. Okay. And say, you know what? I did fuck up. I did say this. Sorry, guys. I got to do better. I wasn't aware. And you know what? If you request as many transcripts or, documents the way I do, I know BJ, Kadisha, all of us, right? Every jurisdiction has a different rule. They're not all the same. So you really have to pick this up. So I was texting my friend, and I was like, I feel really bad because I'm a delivery kind of girl. If I tell you I'm coming through with something, I like to deliver. Or I'm that girl. I like to deliver. I don't like to make promises of yada yada. If I can't do it, I'll tell you, hey, I can't do it, right? But I like to deliver. Okay. So when I'm not like hearing back, or I'm not hearing anything, it makes me mad. I have to address it. And I didn't want to ignore it. I didn't want to I saw some emails and some messages. So I figured, let me do a quick let me do a live and talk to the people about it. But yes, I dropped the link for anybody that wants to come up because there's some other things that I want us to review as well and talk about as it pertains to Celeste, everything that's come about. There's another video that I want to show you guys too, that a really great, I'm not familiar with this creator, but she totally put into, man, she really put into message everything that I felt that I wanted to say, but that I couldn't say. Okay. And she's very young. And I think her name is Mel and B. So let me show you guys this. And of course, I dropped a link. If anybody wants to come up, y'all have some thoughts. All I ask you is please don't name the creator because I ain't trying to give, we're not enabling. We're not, I have a feeling that the creator probably knows who she is and she probably thought she wasn't, people weren't going to find out because of the shit that happened with the court and the other stuff. No, a lot of us did find out because we couldn't get the fucking transcripts. That's what it was. So we found out. Okay. It fucked it up for everybody. It did. But hey, you know what? I don't know. You'd think you'd learn in 2023. But hey, I don't know, man. Whatever. Okay. I want you guys to listen to this girl, and then I'm gonna shout everybody out who sent a super chat. I dropped a link if anybody wants to come up. Listen to what this young girl has to say.
Rivas Hernandez, may she rest in power, was not the first child to be failed in this way, and unfortunately, she will not be the last. Because a lot of us in the Latino community perpetuate two dangerous lies. One, that girls mature faster than boys, so it's okay for grown men to pursue them. And second, that controlling young girls is the same thing as protecting them. First of all, although girls may reach physical puberty earlier on average, this does not mean that they become emotionally or psychologically ready for adult relationships. We also can't confuse the adult responsibilities forced onto young girls, like cooking, cleaning, and taking care of their siblings, with actual maturity. Because being forced to act mature is not the same thing as actually being an adult. It just makes it easier for predators to tell them you're so mature for your age. Now, on the point of control, a lot of girls are told that they are not allowed to date. But of course, kids are going to date anyways. Yep. But while their parents are busy trying to make sure that they don't date, they overlook having important conversations on how to...
We're going to talk about this message here. I think it's very important because we're talking about the parents and who's at fault and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to get into that. Antoinette, are you up here?
Yes.
Oh. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you? I see Coke and Can up here as well. What do you guys have to say? Let me know. Sound off, please. Oh, Antoinette, are you there?
So what happened with the transcripts? I came in late. I just got off work.
Oh, well, we kind of addressed it already. You might have to fast forward here in a minute. Well, we kind of and then there's an echo behind you. You might have to fast forward here in a minute. Oh, okay. Let me, Antoinette, go ahead and fast forward or go back to the beginning of the video. I addressed it there. Give me 1 second. Hey, is it Coke and Can?
Hello?
Hello? Are you trolling me?
Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Can y'all hear Coke and Can? Maybe he can't hear me.
I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you. Are you there?
Hello?
Okay. All right. I don't know. They got to get their stuff together. You said, let's move forward. Yeah, let's move forward. All right. The link is dropped for anybody that wants to hit it, guys. Make sure you guys hit it. Thank you. Antoinette, go ahead and fast forward the video. I can hear him. I can hear him too, but he didn't say anything. You said, I thought he accidentally clicked. He did. He's like, everybody could hear you. Bye, Coke and Can. I was like, Coke and Can left. Oh no. Okay. I did drop the link if anybody wants to come up. So I stumbled across this video and she talks a little bit about, rest in peace, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, right? And then she talks into the Latino culture and the Latino community and what is allowed and what we perpetrate and all this other stuff. And I thought it was very interesting because we talk about fault, right? And, we found out some information about Celeste's parents and whatnot, and it has started up a conversation, not only in our community, but also like in everybody. Well, culture is an excuse. I hear this is kind of stuff that we're trying to change. A lot of us adults, we don't want this, at all. So I thought it would be important to hear that perspective from a younger generation who is saying, like, this is abuse. This is what it looks like. And we need to be careful. And I'm so glad to see younger generations talking about this.
how to recognize grooming, manipulation, toxic relationships, etc. And so if those secret relationships become dangerous, those girls are too scared to tell their parents because they believe they will be punished instead of protected. On top of everything, a lot of young girls who get involved with older men are coming from very toxic families. And so older men are easily able to position themselves as freedom, as an escape. Of course, I am not claiming that Celeste's murder and abuse was because of these factors. I can't say that. But we also cannot treat this case as an isolated tragedy because the same beliefs that are continuing to put a lot of young girls at risk are still prevalent in our communities and our homes.
No. Annie Elise, I don't know why you guys keep bringing up that name. That was not her. No. It was not Annie Elise. I think she would know better than that. Annie Elise's situation is a little bit different. Annie Elise had her worker out there, her reporter out there. She had a media badge or a pass, and I guess they had a device or something, and they were transcribing the court hearing, and it was being shared through a Google shared doc. So it was being transmitted, and transmission is not allowed. So that's what happened with Annie Elise. Is a different issue. She actually addressed it on her Instagram. You guys can go watch it. But no, it's not Annie Elise. I did see some people put in some comments. Was it Annie Elise? No, not Annie Elise, y'all. No, not at all. I just don't want to say names because there is no reason to say them. You said, thank you. Yeah, different situation. Thank you. That's why I never heard of them. You said, I had to grow up fast and be a third parent to my siblings. I dated an older guy because someone took care of me, not realizing it was wrong. There's that. But yes. I know, right? Tell him, Miss K. It's like, Annie Elise don't need no $10. You'll never hear Annie Elise say, hey, you want some court transcripts? Send me $10. You'll never hear her say that. Right. Let me explain this, y'all.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez, may she rest in power, was not the first child to be failed in this way, and unfortunately, she will not be the last. Because a lot of us in the Latino community perpetuate two dangerous lies. One, that girls mature faster than boys, so it's okay for grown men to pursue them. And second, that controlling young girls is the same thing as protecting them. First,
there you go. And I love that she said this because this is absolutely correct. And that's for those that are coming in and didn't catch that. That was the message behind that. Now, I did see people send me information about Trapmore and his notes. Apparently, he was releasing some notes. And I think, was it Patreon? He was able to fix his video, which is great. Let me see if I can pull it. Hold up. Notes. I think he put it on the free status. I think there was, and I think he's fine with us reading some of these. I don't think you'll have an issue. I did see a lot of creators going through them and whatnot. Is this it? I think, was it 30? No. Oh, Lord have mercy. It is it. Here we go. Hold up, y'all. Oh, he scanned them. He scanned his own notes. That's very smart. I would do that if my handwriting wasn't so bad. I think I'm the only person that can understand my handwriting. I don't have the best handwriting. Okay, hold up, y'all. Is this it? Yep. And then this is 11, but they said it was the total of 30. You said, yeah, little girls never mature. I'm sure he's happy, very sweet person. She didn't do this maliciously. I'm not really sure who you're talking about, Sunshine. Wait, you said, I'm sure he's happy viewing. It is important to get the message out. Okay, you talk about Trapmore. Who are you talking about, Sunshine? You might have come in late. I don't know. Are you referring to who? You said I have terrible handwriting. I do too. That's what I'm saying. Patreon free membership for pictures of notes. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I hope he's okay. Yep, Latinos have never been accepting of PDFs. But let me ask you a question. Okay. If a man is courting, grooming a younger girl, which is what has been the generational thing for a lot of us that grew up with that, what do you call that? If a man is 21 or 25 and he's talking to a 15-year-old girl, why can't he talk to a 20-year-old? Why can't he talk to a 21-year-old, somebody closer to his age? I mean, is he into little girls that are 15? That's what I'm saying. It's like we have to be very mindful of this. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. We have to be very mindful. And if that's the case, then like what are we doing after that? That's what we're trying to educate, because that's been the issue. Latinos have never, we're not accepting of any PDFs, no. But if a guy who's 25 or 21 is dating little girls, 11 years old, 10 years old, 18, dating younger, guys, we have to call this out. We can't be okay with that. It's been okay for a long time, and it shouldn't be. And that's the stuff that we're trying to change, right? You said, but let me know, guys. The link is there. Y'all can hit it. You guys can give me your opinion. Let me know. You said the video got banned because he read the text messages. He didn't read them verbatim. No, he didn't read them verbatim. Didn't say anything explicit. He made sure to censor and not to go into grave details. Yes. Is it little yacht? Little yacht. I agree. The only thing is I don't know if BJ is still in here. BJ, if you're still in here, do you remember like a year ago when we were covering the Diddy trial? Like, I want to say it was the first week. And I got a privacy complaint, a community warning. It wasn't a strike. It was a warning. And what I found out, I was doing some research about this. And I'm so glad you just reminded me of this before we read into this. So what I learned is that every time you do a video, because they're not saying that Mr. Moore, Trap Moore, you know, was doing any kind of Pedialyte or anything like that. What they're saying is that the content is essentially falls in that bucket based on the bot that flagged him. So what you have to do is you have to put in a warning. Okay, so I'm going to play this warning. I'm going to show you this, right? And it's 29 seconds. All right, so listen to this. Hey, Abraham, I'm going to play this real quick, okay? Hold up. Hello, everyone. Please note that this broadcast is strictly for educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic purposes. It falls under the EDSA. While the themes, imagery, or discussions may touch upon some graphic, sensitive, or challenging topics, the context is entirely analytical and educational. This stream does not encourage, promote, or glorify any kind of behavior or any acts, but rather provides critical analysis and historical documentation. In particular, we talk about a range of topics that fall under EDSA. Thank you for watching, guys, and make sure you hit the like button. Yeah. Okay, hold up. Let me hey Abraham. Okay. Let me say something real quick. I see she made a mistake. It doesn't mean she's a bad person. Are you talking about the YouTuber that was reselling the documents? Is that what you're talking about, Sunshine? Let me see, because I want to say something about that real quick.
I think she's talking about Annie.
Sorry. Oh, wait. Thank you. Sorry, I was giving her something. Rabbi, I remember. Yeah, I had to do this in the beginning of the videos. So BJ's in here. So I remember I sent this to BJ and I said, hey, BJ, they gave me a community warning because of I said the educational word for master. Remember I had to say master's degree program, Abraham? Every time I said the word master.
Yeah.
Liberation, master liberation. I couldn't say with the B. So every time that I said the word, I had to say, well, Diddy was sitting on the couch getting a master's degree program while he watched so-and-so and the prostitute. Yeah. You're laughing. It's true, y'all. I had to say it like that.
I remember that.
I had to trick the bot. The bots had to be, no, it's not Master Baker. Somebody said Master Baker. Master Liberation. Okay. All right. Sunshine, I'm gonna say something to you because you said you're saying she's not a bad person. She made a mistake for reselling the documents for $10. Okay. Let me say something to you, Sunshine. People that make mistakes, absolutely. That could have been a mistake. I'll give you that. But she's not new to this, right? So to me, I don't understand. In 2023, to sell the body, right? These pictures, these autopsy pictures of Gannon Stout, put them on Patreon, okay? That was like international news when the YouTuber did that, okay? You put them on Patreon, you're selling them. To me, I kind of sat there and I was like, what the hell, right? Because that happened. I knew when all that went down. I'm all for FOIA and everything. Don't get me wrong. Okay. And she had to make her money back. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But that was 2023. What could I have done to make sure that I don't make the same mistake again? And no shade to her. I get it. I mean, yes and no. Please note that. But it's like, we're in this case that is already high profile. Yet on Patreon of a dead child who was, by the way, stuffed into a suitcase and left under a bridge in Florida. Okay. So yeah, people felt some type of way about it. Now, I don't care what cases she covers. Everybody, y'all are free to cover whatever you want. Okay. And this is why I didn't even want to go there. But let me say something to you. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying get your shit together. Okay. If you want to be covering this case, get your shit together, because we're at the trial phase, right? Get it together, because I don't want to have to fucking pay or not get the documents that I need because of your mistakes. I'm not talking about whether she's a good person or bad person. Y'all make your minds up for that. That's not on me. Okay. But let me not find out that we have Celeste Rivas Hernandez's photos up on a Patreon. Okay. Thank you, Sunshine. Okay. I'm just saying. You support whoever you want to. I'm not telling you that. I haven't even called her out by name. I don't need to. Anyways, but go ahead.
And that's just distasteful, quite honestly. I mean, to me, it's kind of grifting. It's like you should allow people to support your channel, monetarily with the work that you do. Don't go selling stuff that is not even yours, because that belongs to the court reporter, right? That, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
that's I don't think there's a mistake. That's deliberate.
So, and like I said, I wasn't even trying to bring that shit up, but if I have some of these people here that do not know the story or do not understand or nothing, and it's like, whatever, maybe that was a mistake in 2023. I'm not really sure. I'm not her. I'm not going to justify her. I never had no problem, with her or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, get your shit together, because this is where we're at. Get your shit together. I would have been called out if I would have done that too, guys. If I've done so, I've been called out for doing shit. And I'm not going to hide away from that, because that's what happened, guys. Okay. But do your thing. Do your thing. Support whoever the hell you want to. I'm not here to tell you otherwise. So please don't come in here and say she's not about. I'm not saying this isn't about whether she's a good person. Maybe this was a mistake, but like multiple times. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Okay.
And for the record, I don't even know who this person is, nor do I care.
We don't, it is what it is. Do your thing. Maybe that works for her. I just would hate that if we are going to be covering this case, can we do right by this case by following the rules? Like, she can cover it. I'm not trying to take over that. She's got her supporters. Shout out to her. It's not about that. But I'm just pissed off that this is where we're at. And that's what I'm saying. It's not the first time. It is not the first time. So, yeah, that's what I have to say. I mean, it's upsetting, but it's like, come on now.
I agree, because look, it ruined it for the rest of us. Like, we've been waiting for those transcripts, and all of a sudden they took out the privilege, and we were wondering like why. We try to do the right thing by requesting the documents, making sure that we don't, make false claims, and analyze what's being said in the courtroom and give commentary based on our opinion. And we don't always agree on what may be the case, but we do it respectfully, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, even is it Waisa or Isa? I think that's what it is. Isa. Yeah, she said it. Do what you got to do. And like I said, you don't have to unsubscribe. I'm not here to do drama. I wasn't going to say anything until it just pissed me off that I'm like, wait a minute. We are going to be going to a trial phase. We are going to probably be requesting transcripts there too, right? Because we may not be there for the whole thing. We might be there to fly in here and there. You know what I mean? Like, we know this. So we have to tread lightly when it comes to this, and people do get territorial about how things are reported. And I'm not trying to take away from anybody. People got to eat. Don't get me wrong. Sylvia knows. I was like, oh my God, Sylvia, you said, mind you, and you and I know this person had to how they got posted on Reddit from selling them like this was anyone and everyone, which was made it worse. There you
Storm cracks me up.
go. What does Storm
Rent is
say?
rent is due.
Rent is due. Girl, yeah, I'm just, hey, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Are you busy, Madam? You want to read this with me? What do you think? Oh my God, let's talk about this
Yeah,
post though, about this Latina. Did you see this? You saw
I agree
the,
with what she says. I feel the same way. In our country, very rarely do these cases get prosecuted.
yeah,
Because people never bring them up to the authorities, or the family takes the law into their own hand and they just grab a machete and go chop the man up. And that's
yeah,
why to some, at least for me, I can only speak about me, but for me, it's like when I was younger and I used to see that older guys, and I don't mean older like much older, meaning like 20, 21, used to speak to my sister who was 16, 17. To me, that was never I didn't see it as illegal,
yeah,
because in our country, it's like you make the decision that is you're responsible for your actions at that age. We
yeah,
don't I don't I've never heard of it in our country as being illegal. I don't even know what the age of consent is in my country, but because I grew
yeah,
up here, of course. But that's why to us, we don't learn it until we become adults and hear it more in American civilization,
yeah.
injustices.
That is always been like, that's the thing, is like there is this, like somebody said it in the comments, and I'm not saying like we have to be careful. No, not all Latinos are, that's not what we're saying about Latinos. I mean, hell, these are my people too. Please note, these are our
Hmm.
people, right? But ultimately, if there is an issue, and this has been a cultural issue, my daughter, baby Bunny, is never going to have to worry about this, right? Because what the life that I've lived is nothing like she's living, right? There is nothing there. She's not going to be parentified. She's not going to be made to watch her siblings. She's not going to be made to, train her to be a housewife type of situation. It's not that. It's not going to be that for her. And that's what I want, like our younger generations to understand, that you could want better. You know what I mean? Like, you can still be a kid and enjoy your childhood, but some of us didn't get that. We weren't set up that way. We had to grow up quickly. Yeah, one's experience is not everyone's experience. Right, right. And we can't make it generalization over an entire race. That's true. But culturally,
Mhm.
it has been okay for older men to date younger females in my culture, other Latin American cultures. Yeah, it's been a thing, guys. And maybe it's in other families too. I don't know. Maybe a money thing is a situation.
For
If
some, it
somebody's,
is. They sell
you
off
know,
some, that if people, I've never seen it. I've never known or seen anybody sell their daughter off. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I've never seen
yeah,
it. And it may be the case in some families, but the ones that I've seen is just not the norm. It's like, okay, let's say you have somebody Celeste's age, right? Now that's a big jump from that to like 20 something. I'm talking about more quinceañera, 15, 16, at that age.
yeah,
That is what I mean. Like if I knew that this was illegal, you know how many people I would have been scaring off my sister every time I had to
yeah,
watch after her? I would have called the cops right away. Somebody's looking at my sister and trying to talk to her. But
right,
as a kid, I did not know that. I didn't learn that till I was much, much older.
yeah. But the parents gonna want to have more for their kid, and it makes you wonder now that we know. But one thing I can't get over, and I kept thinking about this, is how do we go from in February of 2024, the cops are being called, they're going to his house, they're asking, all this happening, to now we're signing documents, for her to be able to fly to London internationally. Does that make sense?
See, that kind of troubles me because some people are saying that her parents gave her the permission. But we also hear that she had moved with her aunt in LA or something. So who
When
knows if the aunt was the one that gave her the permission? I don't know. And I also think of like exact again, my experience when I was younger, my aunts, uncles used to cover up for my sister when she wanted to go on a date when she was younger. Again, not Celeste age, more like 15, 16. In it's that happens in some families. They cover up for their nephews or whatever, not realizing the dangers that they're actually putting them in by doing that. So her
Yeah.
parents probably were not fully aware of everything the way that we see it, because we're looking at this now because all the information has been laid out for us. But going back to when we knew nothing, I mean, the parents were probably, in the blind as well.
It's, I mean, one thing that, and I think it was Pika, my mom, who said it, okay? A groomer could also groom the entire family, right? So there
For
had to have
sure.
been an acceptance of him. He's going into the church. They went to church together. They broke bread together, right? And the thing is that I think back, I was, talking to my friend in the morning. We were talking about this. I said, I remember I was Celeste's age when I was dealing with somebody older. Okay. Um, and this is somebody who really I mean, they broke my heart when I was younger and it really messed me up. Um, but it's a situation where it's like, well, if they're a groom, are they groomed through money or are they taken by the money? And that's the thing. And I'm not trying to take away from Celeste's parents. I think Celeste's parents I've even said it before, they hold a level of accountability here,
Hmm.
because I do feel like you already have a kid that's beyond your control. And the only and again, I hear it when we were hearing about mom and dad trying to sleep in the room so she wouldn't, run away. I can believe that too. I can believe two things can be absolutely correct at the same time, such as they were trying to protect her, but at the same time, did they want to fight this battle? Too many parents out here, you pick your battles when it comes to your teenagers, because it gets harder as
Hmm.
they get older. You pick your battles. Do you really want to? She gonna keep running away with them? Am I gonna keep calling a police report? And not everybody sees it that way. It gets a little bit overwhelming. So yeah, I mean, I could see it both ways.
Or do I not ever want to see my daughter again if she,
Or do I not ever want to see my daughter again?
they have
That's
to
right.
put that in. Now, in reference to Celeste, right? The
Hmm.
family, the uncles or whoever it was, what they did in allowing that was unacceptable. At that age, it is completely unacceptable. I
Yeah,
understand if it was like una señorita más madura, like a little bit older,
yeah.
16, 17, but at that age, no uncle, no aunt, no nobody should have accepted that type of relationship with another man. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right, and that's the thing too, right here. Knows everything. They always deemed us Hispanics or even Latinas or Hispanics or even African American girls as fast, because we do develop faster than any other race. We also need to grow out of. That's the thing, is that growing out of childhood activities faster. If you're telling your kid, well, I'm going to show you, te voy a enseñar a cómo cocinar, or I'm going to show you how to cook, because, and you're only like 11 or 12, and I'm not saying that 11 or 12-year-olds shouldn't be, if they can cook you a hot dog or should be sufficient, or a meal, that's absolutely great. Don't get me wrong. But they shouldn't also neglect their childhood activities, such as playing
Hmm.
with Barbies. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta let them be children. They can play Barbies or not Barb, whatever, go be a kid, go outside and play. Um, I agree with that. And I feel like for me, it was like that. It was like this push for me to learn certain things. And that's why I rebelled against that.
Hmm.
I would say I want to be anything but that. And I don't want to marry. And I don't, this is where I said, I even had a bit of a disdain for my own kind. Um, Finding the men unattractive, because it felt like that's all they wanted at the time. So it's a real thing, guys. There's a book out there. I remember reading in high school, and I wasn't the fastest reader, y'all, because I had ADHD and everything, right? Um, it really, I don't know if you've ever heard of this book, Abraham. It was written by Sandra Cisneros, The House on Mango Street. Oh my God.
I
Put it one in the
have.
chat. The House on Mango Street. The House on Mango Street. Put a one in the chat if you read it. I'm sure some of you guys might have read it. It might have made it like a book in high school that you read. And I remember reading that book. And I remember feeling like that was the only book I could relate to. Like that was the only, like the character of that book. was that? Is this Kim?
Yes, it is, darling.
Oh my God, Kim! Oh my God, she hit our panel. Shout out to Kim in our panel. What do you
Yeah,
think,
that's
Kim?
right. Well, I have lots of thoughts. Mainly coming from the perspective of being in a home that was quite dysfunctional. I'm not saying her parents, so don't get me wrong, because I'm with all of
Yeah.
you on this. I can see a world where her parents were groomed by David because of the money, because she
Mhm.
was probably always taken off from a very young age. I can see a world where he probably could have groomed them, saying, I'll take good care of her. She can, I'll take good care of her, just wooing the parents. I can see that world, especially if she had a dysfunctional household. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, I come from an Italian family, and sometimes there was a tendency to sweep things under the rug. Nobody said stay away from Uncle, I'm not going to say Tony because he'll kill me, but you know what I'm saying, to New York.
You are so
But
right. That is
but
so
I
true.
can see where they can like turn a blind eye, and it's not
Yeah.
because they don't care. The problem is they do care, but they don't know how to
To
fix it.
stop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They give
I mean,
in to it, don't you think? Like
yes,
they become like,
they
well, do we
become a
fight
part of the
it?
problem. Yeah.
They become part of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They
don't
And
know how
like
to effectively address the situation other than
exactly.
go grab a
mhm.
machete.
Well, we all know none of us come here with a handbook to give our parents, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of times when like, I have a child who has mental health issues, and I can tell you this, that it was very difficult, and it still is, because she's going to be 40. Oh God, she's going to be 40. And
Oh my
I can
gosh.
tell you this, the times when I thought and I think that I'm helping her, I'm hurting her. And
Yeah.
I'm talking with my hands like everybody can see me. And and the times where I was hurting her, I don't even know if I was helping her. So,
Yeah.
and she has a very skewed perspective of the way see things, because she has that fantastical thinking. She has a lot of, she has a lot of autistic traits, never been diagnosed, but she has fantastical thinking. She has, her point of view is totally different. She's because of her post traumatic stress, which is also another thing, right?
Yeah.
So, when you have complex post traumatic stress, it causes a lot of issues. So, we know that Celeste has a different point of view. Well, because of what happened before this with her first boyfriend, that when she was what,
Yeah.
10, we know she
Yeah.
had an issue, right? We know she had issue because he was murdered. So we don't know how she felt and thought about her parents, right?
Yes.
And I think her parents worried about her so much, they loved her too much and thought, well, if this is where she's going to be happy. But little did they
Yeah.
know. That's what I think. Do I agree with what their choices are? No. And I'm pretty sure, they're probably reliving all their past life choices now, because her
Yeah.
parents were divorced, correct?
No, I think they're together. They were living together. I mean, can you imagine your child is in pieces now and you're
Yeah.
watching all this and then you watch everybody also kind of like, oh, but you signed the documents. Somebody said in the chat, and I just don't want to forget this comment because somebody said, well, how do we know that the documents are real? Well, I don't know why they would present fake documents in court. If they're saying that they were signed, I would assume that they're real. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, because I think that this is the part that people, there was this, I'm not going to say who, is a very well-known psychologist, very famous guy, okay? And he said this, I asked him a question, and it's the $1 million question that I think a lot of parents, we all ask ourselves. How do you know you're doing right by your kid? How do you know you're doing right by your kid? And he answered and he said, well, are they still alive? And that's it.
Wow, that's
Are
it.
they still alive? And
Well,
that's it,
that's one
right?
thing I did, right? Because we don't wake up as parents and say, how can I fuck up my kids this today, right? That's not
There you go.
usually well, let's see, most of us out there, I can't speak for all parents, but I can speak for many of us who don't say, gee, let me see how I can fuck up my kid today. That's not what we do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there are parents that don't do that, but it could be generational. It could be, cultural, it could be many, many trauma, it could be many, many things. We don't know. And, Celeste at 10 years old was already being exposed. So we don't know what happened at
Yeah,
9 years old to her.
we don't.
So
We don't
her
know what
brain
she was
was not
exposed
even
to.
developed yet. She didn't even know who she was. She had no autonomy at that age, but she was experiencing autonomy when she had no idea what it even was.
Yes. She was making adult decisions when she
Yeah.
wasn't even there yet, right? Like
Yeah.
the decision to terminate a pregnancy, that's an adult decision. Oh, I would
Yeah.
hope that it's just an adult decision. Of course, it doesn't always happen that way, right? That's what we ideally, it would be
Right.
great for that. The other thing too is that we can't forget, it's been said that there was another person who violated her who passed away. I think his name was Gus or something. So her
Yeah.
body, the changes that happen when a young girl is violated, I mean, they're there forever, guys. They're there forever.
They live in the background in the subconscious mind till you pass away.
Yeah, until it becomes
That's
background noise and it's
yes.
still there, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
What do you think of it?
One thing also that comes to mind is, when you are an immigrant, you come from another country, you're scared of the laws, and sometimes your kids kind of use that to their advantage. So they will threaten to call the police if you do not let them do something. And not that I'm saying that's what happened with Celeste, but that also happens in some families. And that's why parents are not as strict as they should be, because they're always scared of the kid saying to the cops, oh, that you're hitting me or that you're preventing me from doing this. And that kind of scares them, especially when you don't know English to defend yourself and be like, no, that child is lying.
Yeah. There's also too, she could have been like the little parent of the family. I grew up in a household where my father was an alcoholic. And it's very common for young children to have to be the parent in the family. And if there was a lot of dysfunctionality going on and she was 9, I don't know what the family dynamics was, but it's very possible that, she was calling the shots because her parents were incapable of it for a while. Who knows? I mean, I could tell you this, I lost a brother when I was how old? 9 years old. And my mother was absent. She was an absent parent, not because she couldn't, it was because she couldn't be emotionally. And I get it now. But I was by myself from a very young age, a lot, so I had to make my own choices. And yeah, I made a lot of
Were
dumb
you a
ones.
latchkey kid? Is that what you would consider is that what they call them,
No,
latchkey kids?
well, I wasn't locked in, that's for sure.
No, no, no. What is it called? The kids that are they're
Latchkey
called
kids, yeah.
latchkeys,
Yeah. I
right?
think you could call it that, but
Yeah.
it was that she was emotionally vacant. Like she was unable
Yeah.
to like she was trying to get through burying her own kid, right? Who's died at 21 of cancer. And I can
Yeah.
see that coming on. Like she was trying to get through that. So we don't know what was going on within her household. So while I can see like we can all judge the parents very easily, right? It's easy for us to do that, but I don't know, or we don't know like those choices. So is it cultural? I don't know. I think it happens way more than we're all willing to admit or even realize. You know, this is how
Yeah,
trafficking happens too. It's how trafficking happens.
exactly. And let me say this, we're not making excuses. Please, I'm not
No.
making nobody is excusing the person that came in here and said, stop with the immigrant shit. Okay, well, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the advice. Get
Listen,
another
Well,
Linda.
troll account.
I,
Listen,
I
Linda.
can't I can't give you the perspective of an African American person or a white family because I'm not
Exactly.
We're
neither. I can
not.
only give you the
We're not.
perspective of of an immigrant family. I can't
I
There's
speak
think
on
only
it is.
one
behalf of another
perspective.
culture.
I only have my
Right.
one perspective, mine. you know.
That's it, right?
And
That's
it's
the
skewed
only
too, and it's
perspective.
biased. Yes, and it's biased too, and it's not always correct. I don't always see things the way people do. But
Right.
what we do know in this is that he was a perpetrator. He was sick, and he took full advantage of Celeste and her family, I think. And I bet they thought, well, we know where she is and she's safe. He probably promised him the moon. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then when
Hmm.
she got pregnant, what are you going to do? Well, she's in love with him. So you know what I'm saying? Because culturally, you don't get, a lot of cultures don't allow abortion, right? So it's like, okay, well, now she's pregnant, or maybe they found out after the fact. We don't know. We're only getting one side of the story. We're not getting everything. It's just really sick, though, because there's other people involved that knew this was going on and they knew it was wrong. And that's where the problem is.
I would agree. And I think, like I said, we're not making excuses. What has happened is horrible. And yeah, in my opinion, I think the parents are just as accountable, and I think that they're feeling it. And I have to wonder about that
Yes.
CPS report. But ultimately, like I was talking to my friend this morning, and she's like, "Well, why aren't they charged, or what are they going to do now? What is CPS going to do now that Celeste is
Right.
gone? There is no client, guys. So it's not
Mhm.
like CPS can come back and reopen a case. No,
Right.
there's no client. They're not going to do that. So ideally, it would be good to understand and know, well, if Celeste was alive. And matter of fact, let's talk about the fact that this is happening to a lot of young kids of various backgrounds, not just Latino. This
Yep.
just happens to be David, who has some following and notoriety. This is why it captured the attention. But talk about everybody else that is out there that's currently dealing with somebody, or a man that's grooming them. They just don't have the following or the exposure that David has or has. This
Yeah.
is happening everywhere, guys. Honestly.
Yeah.
Especially in that industry, the whole industry is about fame, money, greed, power, and when those dynamics are in the mix, nothing good comes that, it seems like, and it's like, is there anyone in that industry that's okay? It's really hard to trust that, right? But unfortunately, people are easily influenced when it comes to status and money because they think, oh, she'll have a better life, or oh, this, or oh, that. And I think that Celeste was taken by that, you know, and she thought that she was going to have a life with him. How could she even know what she was thinking, though? You know what I mean? It's like my daughter was, 5 years old, and she wanted to grow up and be a Barbie, for God's sakes. And it was serious because she walked around on her tiptoes all the time. That's like
There you go.
Celeste, you know what I'm saying? And she still
I
does
was
to
playing with
this
Power Rangers at that age.
Were you?
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
you know what I mean? And so it's like, Celeste at 10 years old, you know what I mean? That she's still a baby.
She was a
Still a
baby.
baby.
She
Still a baby.
was.
And the defense is making themselves look bad by accusing Celeste as being a perpetrator. Oh my God, are you kidding me? You know?
That was insane. Because I was
Yeah.
like, it was, I mean, listen, the guy has a bodyguard, but I think that it got to a point where if he were to call the police, she could have made the allegation right then and there. He didn't know what else to do at the same time. It's like, yeah, I could see this being in his mind a double situation where it's like, oh, if I call the police, she could make all these accusations against me. And it's interesting that they specifically, out of the 1,000, how many text messages did they say between 100? How many messages between them? It was well over
Somebody
100,000, right?
somebody calculated, and it was like 50 message an hour or something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was BJ who said it was
That's a
like
lot.
between 2020 the 22nd to the 23rd. It was like 100,000, 100K,
Yeah.
100,000.
Hmm.
And that would have been like, yeah, BJ calculated, we were doing the math. That would have been like so many messages in one day. Thank you. This one right here. So out of all the messages, the ones that they highlight is where Celeste said, and I'm going to lie, and I'm going to say
Hmm.
that you did this to me, and I'm going to lie. And I'm like, yeah, but what about the messages about the abortion? Like, can we keep highlighting those?
Yeah.
Because, okay, she said she was going to lie, but she didn't lie about the fact that you got her pregnant. That's not a lie.
Yeah.
No. She was
And
trying
rather,
to prove a point to him because she didn't have anything. I mean, she didn't know how to go against him. She was trying to take back her autonomy and she couldn't. And that was like the only way that she could try to detach from him. He's the one who made it difficult. He was the one controlling her all the time. He was the one manipulating her, and she, again, she was 13 years old. For all we know, they could have started a lot younger than that.
Yeah, we don't know if Celeste got counseling. I know people are saying, like Sadie said, thank you so much, Sadie, for this. Celeste probably didn't get counseling after. We don't even know if that was reported, guys. How did we find out about this if it wasn't through messages? Was that ever reported?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. And did she mean, is this the person that she identified? Like, this is we're getting information. This is a lot to this that I'm like, I don't know how much validity is behind some of this. Not to say that she didn't say it. I just don't know because she's not here anymore. She can't verify some of
Yeah.
this. Where's the FOIA of this report? You know?
And at the end of the day, all the evidence leans on him. Like, who's gonna, like, a 14-year-old is gonna take on him? I know he's a small little dude, right? But like, she's gonna take him on. Come on now, come on. He had everything in his power. He bought those things. You know what I'm saying? He bought the weapons. It's pretty apparent. You know, he's trying to hide it. His music is exactly what he did. You know, it's like he told on himself through his music. He was living out his fantasies in his and with Celeste and writing it into music. That's how I see it. Not that it happened. I don't know which way it happened, but that's how I feel it was, because that guy is a sick bastard.
Yeah, he was.
Is
Oh
still.
man.
And Rabbit, just like we're using these examples about, Latin families or whatever, uh, as what could have contributed to them not knowing or whatever, we also have parents, I mean, uncles and aunts and family members in other families that don't deal with it. They don't allow their kids to do any of this. I have aunts that would have said, "You're gonna call the cops and try to threaten me? I'm gonna give you the phone." And they
Mhm.
didn't care. And what they did not allow the kids to dictate what they, how to parent them. Some
Yeah.
kids, some parents are afraid of the kids. Other parents don't even entertain that. Like my mother used to look at us
Yeah.
like just with an eye, we knew what she meant just by looking at us a certain way if we were
Yeah.
misbehaving. You know.
Well, I can say this. I did intensive foster care for 15 years, my husband and I. And I can tell you, I could have two at a time, and trust me, I wanted no more than two. But I was a lot of times, not all the time, but there was a good percentage of the time that it wasn't the parents, that it was the kids, and vice. But a lot of times it was like the kids were struggling, and the parents didn't know how to deal with them, and so,
Yeah.
but a lot of times it wasn't that. So we can't always look at the, I'm not excusing the parents or whatever whatsoever, but what I am saying is, I had a foster kid threaten to call the cops on me. I'm like, here's the phone, call.
Yeah.
you know I mean, I had one cut herself and then send her the pictures to her DMH worker and say,
Yeah.
look at what she let me do. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it's like
Yeah.
kids are trying to
They'll
figure
test the
out,
limit.
yeah, test the limit, figure
Yeah.
out who they are, and they're looking for, they're looking, when they don't feel out of control, they're looking for control. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Celeste found in that monster, was he
Yeah.
had control. She felt safe with him because I don't think her home life was really controlled. But how can we do anything, like you said, with the parents now? I think every day that they get up in the morning, they're
They
beating
feel it.
themselves up. They're feeling
I
in a
think
living
so too.
hell. Yeah, a living
Yeah.
hell. Because I can't imagine. I mean, I know I saw with my own eyes what my mother went through bearing her son who died, and it was cancer. I
Yeah.
saw that, what it did, like how long it took her to really come back to a place where, she was, you know, more emotionally available. Took a long
Yeah.
time. And so I can't imagine.
Hmm.
I don't think I could actually live with that, knowing what happened. You know what I mean? I mean, how do you do that? Wouldn't even know where to start. So
Hmm.
that's a huge punishment for them. Like, what is locking them up, charges at them? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Let me bring up Joy. Joy, how are you?
Hey,
How are
so
you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. Do me a favor. I hear an echo in your background. Just make sure you don't have me on anywhere else.
Hold on just a second. Did that help?
Yes, that helps.
Okay. So I only have a second because I don't want my kiddo to come out here and hear this. But I just want to give we're talking about how Latinos and, everybody's different and how they're raised. And I came from a very wealthy white family and was abused physically and mentally for The earliest I remember was 3 years old. And every time, now mind you, this was in the 70s, but every time CPS was called, because they had money and prestige in the community, a very small town, they were let off. Um, my dad worked in England and most of the time, and my mother was extremely abusive. So it's not just, now I wasn't sexual, I can't say that, abused, but physically and mentally was, it almost ruined my life. It was so bad. So it can be from any background, it doesn't matter the amount of money you make. I mean, I believe anybody can walk into this, and I really feel sorry for Celeste's parents. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done some things different. I do believe they should have. They should have a closer eye. But I will say also, from being physically abused and mentally abused, I took it so much easier on my kids than I should have. And
Yeah.
who knows what happened to those parents? Who
You try
knows?
to compensate, right? Like this is a
Yes.
thing that I've heard people say. They either try to overcompensate. That's the word. You try to like do better because, and I hear you on that, man. I hear you on that because I felt myself doing the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Same.
yes, yeah,
So I have the 37-year-old and the 27-year-old. And as you know, because we've heard it before, but I'm raising my 14-year-old grandson who has autism. And that's my 37-year-old son's son. And I'm much stricter than him than I ever was on them because I tried to overcompensate, like we're talking about. And I don't want him to end up like his dad,
yeah,
my
yeah,
son. And he has autism, and it's hard. And I'll be 60 years old in October. I don't know how long I have. I've got to raise this child to live now. But I hope other people can hear me, not to wait till it's too late
Right.
to raise your children as if you're not going to be here tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Just
Um,
everything. Like,
go ahead.
There's a lot of fear in that too. There's a lot of fear when you get, like, I'm going to be 63, and I get it because my daughter has some issues and I worry about her survival. What happens
Yeah,
when I'm gone. So I
yeah,
get that. But so that's why it's easy. It's, at my age, I can see where not David, sorry. Oh my God, just smack me now. I can see where Celeste's parents, bitch slap myself. I can see where Celeste's parents I can kind of have their point of view, as sad to say as it is, and as
absolutely.
horrible as it is. I can understand because they were probably trying to, like I said, parents don't wake up in the morning and say, how can I mess up my children, right?
Right.
Unless
We
they've
I
always
messed
hope
think
up
we're
Their
not.
doing the
themselves.
lives.
best. We think we're doing the best.
Right.
Yes.
Hmm.
Most of
Um,
us, 9/10 of us, are trying to do our best.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all
yes.
parents are like that, but yeah, you're right.
Alabama Mama is up here. Alabama Mama, do you have something to say? If you want to sound off, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I had two questions. If his mom had notarized, and that was actually a forged document, would they still have put it in evidence? You think?
Nah, I don't know. They would probably put the evidence as the document that was
Document that was
forged.
forged.
Yeah.
Oh,
That I've
Um,
been wondering that myself, like because I've heard watching all the videos that his mom was a notary, so I've always wondered, like, is that a possibility? But then when the defense brought it up, I just don't know if they would have done that if it was forged. You know what I mean?
The mother would have gotten in a lot of trouble as an orderly because
yeah, she
that's
could have
I
gotten
bad.
think they
busted.
would know that by now.
Yeah.
And another thing I was going to say is I seen SF today on Law on maybe Sidebar. Have you seen that interview he did?
With
no, I
Jesse
have
Weber, I
not.
saw it.
How was
Mm-mm.
it?
It was good. He actually
Yeah.
said that he had that he does think that Dave that he's guilty, and so do I. But I do agree with him on some of the things he said. Like maybe some of the charges are a little much. Like that could be a problem in my opinion and his as well. Like for instance, the waiting, for her to get
The
there, and
line
then
in
the
wait.
I
He
think
did
that
say
is going to
that
end up
before.
being. And then he said
Uh,
that also the premeditation. Like it didn't seem premeditated, and I do agree with that too. I possibly think that it was just something that happened once she arrived. Maybe an argument, you know, continued like it had been happening when she was on her way there, and something happened. I think that those two charges could end up being a big deal.
Yeah.
They'll still get
See,
put
but
away for life, even if those get thrown out. So,
I think
even
that
if
SF made the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's all right. Go ahead. I forgot what I was
I
going to
think
say.
that SF made the his opinion was based on what we know so far. So I'm sure that once we see everything else that's going to come out in trial, things all of us are going to feel very different because yeah, he is right. Based on what was presented, it looks kind of flimsy, but they don't present all their they don't show all their cards in the preliminary. They just show enough to be able to move forward. They're going to outline this, chronologically, very detailed during the trial. Probably they're going to show us searches that he made, uh, all the digital stuff that are going to find them guilty. And when you take the totality of the circumstances and what ended up happening, I'm sure a jury is going to arrive at the conclusion that he did do it and he will be found guilty of all those
You know what's
charges.
weird? You know what I was thinking just now? I had a thought, so I better say it before I forget. Oh, I almost
Go for
forgot.
it, girl.
Oh, why did he order her a Uber? Why didn't he go get her? So, that kind of fits the lying in wait charge, doesn't it? He had a Tesla. Why didn't he go get her?
It's an hour and a
I
half away.
Yeah,
and I
but
think that that's going to be a problem, honestly.
It
Like
is,
now
but
that
he
the
ordered her
Uber.
Uber a lot of times based on what we've
Yeah, I think
been
he
reading
had.
and hearing.
Yeah, but the fact that the Uber driver don't remember her, like you're telling me that you drove that
Yeah,
far and took her that far of a distance and you don't remember, like I don't know. That's a kind of a big deal in my opinion. Like that is the last person that Celeste was with. You would think that he would remember that type of a drive. You know what I mean? Like it's an hour and a half, like you said.
I've
That
honestly
is
been
weird.
wondering if that guy was paid off by David
Well,
Smith.
and let me remind you guys, that's what I was thinking too. Suddenly, the Uber person does not remember him. Lying in wait, and we've said it before here, is a special method of committing a killing that automatically qualifies the offense as first degree murder and can be charged as a special circumstance carrying carrying a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. So essentially, to prove a murder was committed by means of lying in wait under California Penal Code, the prosecution must prove four key elements. Here's four things that they need to prove. Concealment. The defendant conceal their true purpose or intent from the victim. This can be done through a hidden ambush, so ordering her the Uber, okay, even if the victim is physically aware the defendant is present. Okay, so I'm at the house, the door is unlocked. Watchful waiting. The defendant waited and watched for a suitable opportunity to act. Okay, which kind of makes me wonder if she was attacked by surprise. And here it is, another element: surprise attack. The defendant launched a surprise attack on the victim from a position of advantage. And premeditation. The duration of the waiting and watching must be substantial enough to show a state of mind equivalent to deliberation and premeditation. And this is where I think the defense is going to come at it. He was playing video games at the time. He did not mean or intend to yada yada yada.
but it also could be twisted too, like he was pretending to play video games because he was texting her the whole time too, right? And he said he was going to go to In-N-Out Burger. Wasn't that kind of one of the things that he said too, or
He told
I
something?
her
think
to go
he.
to In-N-Out Burger on the
Oh,
way.
he did. Okay, sorry, I
But
got
No,
that.
but
I think he was going to
I just
order.
want to
I think he
say
was
real
going to order
quick that
delivery.
he, I mean, as far as that goes, he was telling her to come see him. Doors unlocked, gates unlocked. Come see. That's lying in wait. That's You're telling her to come there.
That's
That's
right.
lying in wait. I mean,
See, but she got there under her persistence. He did not want her to go. He wanted to meet her after his trip back from
Yep.
I don't
but
know
then he changed his
somewhere.
mind.
But then she kind I don't know. So, see, but that's the thing. We're missing. I'm sure that we're missing some in between
I
text
agree.
because
There's
because
more.
it went from this to then this. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
he's unlocking the door
Yeah, we
in
need the
his bonnet.
transcripts, and we also need more from the actual
Well,
trial when we hear
well,
that. And I'm glad it's 90 days and not a year.
well, you remember they had a 20-minute time frame. Okay, so like that kind of also throws out my my now that I'm thinking about it, that kind of throws out my theory about an argument because that I mean, like she got there within 20 minutes. He had unalived her. If you go by what the prosecution says, so that does kind of sound like you were waiting on her to get there and did a sneak attack on her as soon as she entered the door.
Because he knew she was coming. I mean, that was not a secret. And he was like, gates unlocked, doors unlocked, come on in. He knew she was coming.
And they had been arguing, right? Like, sounds like they've been
Yeah.
arguing
Right.
for like the 2 day. Well, I don't know if it's the full day for sure. Between the 22nd and the 23rd, they had been arguing. You know, he was avoiding her. That's what it sounds like. And if that, I mean, again, you have somebody threatening you. You have a live-in security. Where was this live-in security guy
Yeah.
too? We don't even know her at the time.
That bothers me, Rabbit, almost as much as anything else. Where was this live-in security guard? Why have we not heard anything from him or about him other than
Was-
immunity?
His
According to
parents
the
were there.
prosecution, that's another thing. Okay, so according to the prosecution, the SJ Ejaculus guy, he was there for 6 months. February 24, 6 months later. So he wouldn't have been there by this time unless another security was hired. But my thing is, now that I think the parents were there, as he said, could
Yep.
those 20 minutes been him sneaking her in somewhere through the back or whatever, him getting ready, and then taking the
because
trip?
he said front doors unlocked, gates unlocked. So he didn't
I
sneak
think he
her
said
in.
back door. I think he said back
Okay.
door.
Well, but gates unlocked, back door, whatever.
Well, I mean, what I mean is that she got there, he got ready, then they both went on the trip in the car to Santa Barbara, and then that's where he killed her, and then came back.
But that's not the prosecution don't think that though. That's what
not what
it's
they're
kind of.
saying.
Nope, they're saying that it happened as soon as she entered the house. And as a matter of fact, like SF said that today, that he does believe that she was in that car on the first ride out to wherever he had went. But the prosecution isn't saying that. They're actually saying that he drove that ride alone,
Yes.
which I do believe SF is correct. In my opinion, she was in that car. I don't know if she was still alive in that
I don't
moment,
think
but
she
I
was
do
still
believe she
alive
went.
at that point.
Hold on, one at a time. So two questions, and Kat, I think, brings up a really good point. What are they basing the 20 minutes on? Just the texting? Is there more? I think the towers, because just because he texted again doesn't mean that she was already gone. I don't know. There's got to be more, and that's what we're saying. Miss Amber, shout out to Miss Amber from That Surprise Witness. She says he told her that his parents were there. Is that was the other question I had, was did we ever confirm? Was that a lie?
No.
Parents actually there? Has this been confirmed?
It's never been confirmed.
It hasn't,
But it
no,
was
only by
said.
his texts. He
Only
said it
by
to
his
her.
text.
But
Yes.
he could have been saying that to make her not want to come.
That's
wanna
right.
Come, yeah.
Well, she asked, if you remember in those text messages, she actually asked for pictures for proof. And he
Yeah.
says they're supposed to be here Thursday.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And this is, look at Sylvia says no. Sylvia, you might have to hit the link. Okay. Shout out to Sylvia.
Hey,
Sylvia was out there
ride or die.
too. Right or die till the wheels come off. Yeah, Miss Amber says, and Celeste did not believe that his parents were there. That's right. That's why she told him to take a picture and send it, and he never did.
Send me proof. Yeah.
So maybe that is how they're getting that information through just those messages, but we don't know if that's actually factual. Pika says, I wonder if her phone auto-corrected to his Wi-Fi. Connected to his Wi-Fi, because my device auto connects, being that she had been there how many times? Yeah, and like doesn't even give her a notification, right? Did her phone auto? That's a great question, and maybe that's how they were able to pin the towers.
So let me ask another question. Who do y'all think the witness is? I think it's Rob.
I think it's Rob.
I think it's
I
Rob,
think Sheldon
probably.
had already left, in my opinion. Like, as far as what we know so far, I don't believe that he was still there.
When did he become a
Rob?
witness, though?
Well, they're saying they have this witness that either heard or saw something.
I think
SF
Rob is
said-
a witness to like the relationship, right? I don't think. I mean,
Sheldon.
not Rob. I meant Sheldon. I think Sheldon is a witness to the relationship, not so much as the crime of the unaliving. I think that Rob may be that witness.
But we do not think that he did this by himself. I think we're pretty unanimous in that, correct?
You know what?
Correct.
You know what?
I think he did, because had he had help, he would have been able to get rid of the body.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. It's like if I had help, I would have been disposed of this. So I'm conflicted when it comes to
He
who did it
can't
by
be a
himself or
witness
not.
to the relationship though,
But
because he's not being
Sheldon,
charged for the relationship, is he?
Right.
So he
No,
has to be a
Sheldon,
witness to the murder, or at
the
least a witness
murder
to something, or the hiding, concealing of the
or the
body.
hiding and or dismembering. That's what
but
the
You're
thing
right.
said.
well, we haven't heard anything about the security guard, and I'm thinking Sheldon because he could try. And this is where that thing where Celeste attacked him could come from, as him being a witness we don't know about. Sheldon, the security guard. I got air quotes like you all can see it. Okay, so I
Talking with
can't
your
with
hands.
myself. So it's like, so his security guard, maybe it's like they're thinking, oh, Sheldon can say like she came after him because he's the witness. Because remember that during the press conference he made a mistake and said and a witness, I forget the exact words, but remember we watched that a couple of times yesterday when the press conference happened. They said and the witness, I can't remember what they said. Flojo, help. For Celebrities Podcast, help. I can't. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Precipitate. I think it's called the pre. Somebody said it here in the chat. Let me pin it up because I saw it. Here it is. The precipitant witness or something like that. I
Yes,
think that's what
that
it's
word.
called. There it
That's
is.
the word.
There it
Okay,
is.
thank you. I can't even
Yeah.
participated. Pre-tip is
No, but that's what
yeah,
we caught at the
yeah.
very end
Yeah, that
of
was a
that
slip.
stream.
That was a
Yeah.
slip.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm just
Someone
gonna
who
say for the
saw.
record, I think Rob was involved somehow.
Yeah.
When you listen to him on the stand with his I didn't know, I did know, I didn't ask, I did ask, whatever. I can't remember exactly the words, but that to me kind of solidified the fact that he knows something or was involved in something.
Yeah, guilt
I
knowledge.
absolutely. Absolutely. Which is that kind of witness, whatever it's called, precipitated or whatever.
It's I mean, I guess that's again means someone who saw or heard something happen. We don't know what that something is, whether
Right.
that was the commission of the crime, whether that was getting rid of the body, whether I don't think, this is just my opinion. I don't think that that I think he committed this crime alone, but I think
Yes.
somebody else helped him after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Clean up the
no
mess.
Because I
way in
could
the
see them.
world that little man could have moved her, and she did not weigh 77 pounds when she passed.
She
Now,
was
she probably didn't
120.
weigh 100 pounds either, but when
It
you
said
are
120.
talking about, that body weight, there's no way that little guy with no muscles that plays games all the time, he's not like a workout, king or whatever. He didn't do that. He didn't even move her by himself. He did not do that by himself.
Well,
I don't believe it.
we know how he moves at Coachella. Just saying.
Shit, I mean, he's flipping. That's true though. He's like doing flips and all that kinds of. No, it's like yeah,
But
guys. I mean, he was up
lifting,
there.
Is it a crime for somebody? Okay, like let me ask you this though: is it a crime if somebody does know after the fact? Wouldn't that still be considered a crime if even if they didn't help? Right? They just
right? But
knew about
immunity,
it.
I don't
not
think
with
it's a crime.
immunity.
You're not obligated to report a crime. I
Yes, you
mean,
are.
are you? You are?
No,
Yes, you
You
you're
are
are.
in my state.
in California. No, California. Hold up,
Really?
First Liberties told us. Yes, California. First Liberties, where you at? You don't get in trouble. It's the hiding of a body. It's mutilating of a corpse. That's a felony. The hiding of the body. It's a misdemeanor. You're not mandated to report a crime. You're not obligated to report a crime in California.
Any crime like
So
child abuse or,
even child, I guess. I mean, if you're a mandated reporter, you probably want to report child
oh
abuse.
my
But yeah,
Lanta.
yes.
I didn't
In
know
So
that. That's
Massachusetts,
crazy.
you have to report. It's
in
accessory. Yep.
yeah, ladies,
Well, that's because if you help.
oh ladies, I'm going to I have the the light true crime. I think it's light true crime podcast up here. I'm gonna drop. Can I have one or two drop? I just want to make sure we're not
I can
over
drop.
talking each other. Is that okay? Thank you so much.
Yep.
And can I
Who's
just
dropping?
add one more? Can I just
Yes.
say one more thing before we hang up? Before I hang up. Um,
Be in the chat. Don't hang up.
no, I'm not gonna. I will say, even though what I said before, that some parents are not meant to be parents. My mother told my father when I was born that she wanted nothing to do with me, that he could have me. And she had nothing to do with me my entire life unless it was abuse, physical or mental. So some parents just don't have that too. So we really don't know. Like, we've not heard anything about their parenting, Celeste parenting, her parents with the other kids. Like, we don't know. We don't know any of that. So that's just something else to keep in mind.
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Selma. And you're right. We don't know. We can speculate. We can talk about it, and that's what we do. I get it. So you're right. There's a lot that we don't know.
We're
Thank you
master
so
we're
much.
master speculators.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, just discussing and trying to figure out.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you, ladies. Let me bring up
How do
I
I
think
get out of
True
here?
I don't know how
I
to get
will
out of
kick
here
you
either.
out.
Can you kick me out?
Kick me
I will
out,
kick
please,
you out.
Rabbit.
Thank you.
Lots of love,
Yo,
everybody.
shout out to Kim and Joy, you guys. Drop some hearts for Kim and Joy. They're hilarious. Let me see. Who else do I have? Okay, so I have True Light. I want to make sure I say your name correctly. So you were at the courthouse, right? True Light. Man, I can't read it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm like an unofficial transcript. I wrote down everything.
You
Everything.
did.
So
Oh Lord have
so
mercy.
what do you want? What do you need? I have the closing arguments. I wrote like
Okay.
a mad person, getting every single
Ooh.
note. I have texts. I have it
So you
all.
were there you were there for everything? For the whole hearing?
I was there
For the whole
from
week?
I missed Monday and Tuesday, but then I talked to them and got some confidence to ask for some help with the media standby because I wasn't
Okay.
getting the lotto. And I have been in all
Okay.
the saddest conferences before. And then I finally got in the rest of the time. I just had to get some confidence to be like, can I please get in here? So,
Oh my
oh yeah, I
God.
was
Shout
sitting
out
right
to
next to
you.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
you were sitting next to
I've been in
Sylvia.
there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so tell us about, all right, a couple questions that we had. I don't know how much you were able to capture, but one of the things is man, there's a lot of things that are unclear, but tell us about closing arguments. I guess we could start right there. How did closing arguments go for, I guess, both parties?
Okay, hold on. Let's go to that page. It's a couple pages.
Oh my gosh, I could hear her
She
flipping the
has
book,
she has a
girl.
she has a she has a table of contents and everything.
It's a lot. Okay. The
She
first
got the table of contents.
you have no idea. My hand hurts so bad. Okay, people rest, defense rest. Okay, so when we go to closing arguments,
Mhm.
they start with the defense first. So I'll just read through my notes. Stop me whenever you want me to stop.
Okay.
They did
Go
a
ahead.
motion for insufficiency on all counts and circumstances, as well as the holding orders. So then they want to talk about count one, the unaliving count. They brought up the issue of proof of malice or forethought. And they were saying that the DNA that, sorry, my kid is going crazy. The DNA that was found at the residence and the car was consistent with the BLOOD from dismemberment, but it's not evidence of this with malice and forethought. Then they talked about malice in two different forms. They talked about express malice, saying that it needs to be a deliberate intention, and says that there's no evidence to show that he was going to harm her, harbor her. They said there's no statement that shows he had intent to harm her, and said that he expressed his love and care to her only. Then they went on and spoke about implied malice. They said no consideration, provocation appears. They said the evidence shows provocation from, this is hard, but they say a jealous Celeste and the threats on his life. They said that the texts with threats prove opposite as well as the text to mutilate his dong. They were saying that there's no evidence that shows he knew, appreciated, or disregarded danger to life. They said that the medical examiner cannot even tell the circumstances that this crime occurred, or if the wounds were even done at the same time, what instrument, or if they occurred at the same time. They said that these things negate that David stood by while she BLED out. I try to be careful with my words here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
They said that the medical examiner could not verify if she BLED out internally versus externally. And again, you'll see on the recross what prosecution said to all this, because obviously they challenge it. They said that the facts are not supported. There's no evidence of deliberate intent to unalive her. They said nothing is showing of David's danger to life for her, they say that concealment of death is not unaliving. So kind of just concealing the body, like that's not equal to this unaliving charge. They said that the special circumstances are unconstitutional. And then they went on to the lying in wait section. On this part, they said that this requires a higher burden than deliberate intention to unalive. They said an intentional unaliving requires concealment of purpose. It requires watching and waiting and a surprise attack from position of advantage. They say that the waiting must be substantial. They said evidence does not support this, and Celeste expected him to be home and demanded to go over. They said that she tried to convince not to come over. David tried to tell her, no, you can't come over, all this, but she insisted. They referenced a text message at 10:02 p.m. that said, girly pop, I'm almost there, open the door if you are home, supporting that. They say
Oh
that
my God,
David
your notes, let me stop you right here. Girl.
Yeah.
Your notes are like word for word for word for word.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
I don't
know
mess
how
around.
you did that. Clearly, I is your hand okay? Are you carpal tunnel or any? I mean, do you get carpal tunnel for writing?
I
My hand
mean,
used to swell up when I would write too much on paper. So my goodness.
it
Wow.
was sore, but you know, I was motivated.
Yeah.
I literally got like as word for word as I could.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry, I had to stop you
Yeah.
because I was like, huh? I feel
No,
like I'm
go-
like listening to everything word for word.
That's
Go
why I'm
for it.
telling you, like I'm like an unofficial transcript because I'm very much somebody that sticks to the facts. Like give me the facts. That's what I want.
Yes.
So I
Oh my
wanted to get
God.
everything. And I trust myself in getting that information versus
Good
others.
job.
Good job.
So
Oh my God.
okay. Then they said that David and his friends were online gaming before, that hour before, like the 9 to 10. So they were trying to say, because he's doing that, he wasn't watching and waiting for her. They also talked about the medical examiner determined that they can't tell if there's no struggle that happened. They also said that they can't supply a surprise position of advantage or defensive wounds. Then they went into financial gain section. With this, they said, without concrete financial interest, they say the evidence does not prove this. It appears to preserve his music, but not something under California law regarding future earning capacity. They said it must be proven to be what is in mind, and the financial benefit comes down to preservation of reputation and his income stream. The income was contractual, it was realized, and it was already banked. Okay, next page. It said that he satisfied what he had to do for albums 1 through 2, but that albums 3 to 4 were not guaranteed. And all of those decisions were Interscope decisions, not his financially. They referenced the December 2025 termination, and they said that it doesn't say anything regarding the April 23rd, alleged incident, that's not why he was let go. And they also made a point saying that he wasn't involved in his finances, which is something that they kept trying to do. Then they went into the witness unaliving part. They tried to say evidence must show the purpose or intent of the unaliving, and that nothing showed subjective belief that she was interested in being a witness, that she was not involved in any actual investigation, that the threats Celeste made were socially made to leak things, go to Val's house, go to the dad and lie, but never to go to police. They said that she was hiding a relationship they said that David hiding a relationship from police and missing posters doesn't count for this. And then the last thing they said was concealment defense. They said all of these require malice, mental states, and all of them fall short. So that's the defense closing if you want to go into that.
Wow. So
We need
this
a
is
sound
all
effect.
the defense.
Like the
Literally.
wah, wah, wah.
Not the
Because
wah, wah, wah.
the judge gave the green light, so all of that is shut down. The judge said, well, no, ma'am, sit down, because they have enough to prove, and a jury can make the decision based on what was presented to him or her so far.
Oh, so I see. You know what? I'm looking for it because you asked for it. I said, can I find I have a boo. Hold up. I don't have a want, but I have a boo. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. And it's the Light True Crime Podcast, correct? Did I say your name correctly?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Everything in the dark
The
comes
light.
to the light.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yep,
that.
the light.
So,
hmm
all right. So let me ask you a question. And you have a true crime. You have a YouTube channel as well. I just want to make sure. I mean, do you do content on your channel as well?
I have YouTube and TikTok. So most of the time it's repurposing from TikTok into YouTube right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I would love to share it. You let me know if it's okay to share. If not, unless you want me to
Yeah,
share it on
no, it's
TikTok, I can do
fine.
that.
Yeah, this is
Let me.
like when I make my videos, I just read through my notes. That's
Yeah,
what I
this is
do.
really
Yeah.
detailed. What about the? Okay, so prosecution. Of course, they closed with that prosecution. I mean, um, of course, I heard that they did a fantastic job. That's not what I'm not doubting any of that. But when they showed that I guess, authorization for her to travel, can you go to your notes and see what that exchange was like and how that question was asked? And also like what was confirmed from this? This is a real document, correct? I just want to make sure I understand what that exchange looked like.
Yeah, this was also hard because I was sitting, the irony of the timing that this document came up is exactly when Celeste's parents walked into the courtroom that morning, exactly when this was going up. And they sat directly in front of me. And it was just like, as they were literally being called out about this document. Let me just rewind to give you exactly what it was. But yeah, it was hard to hear. But it wasn't
I'm hearing you
notarized.
flip those pages. I'm like, girl.
There's a lot of pages. Okay, travel consent form. They showed the form. It was dated September 23rd, 2024 by Jesus from Mercedes. It gave consent for Celeste to travel to London with David, and there was no other family members. They noted the dates of travel were September 28th through October 5th. And that was that
So it
section.
gave mom and dad's name was actually on this document.
Both, yeah, Jesus and Mercedes.
What is the name of the document? What is it called? Consent to travel?
They put travel consent form.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. It was travel consent form. That's what they put up. And it was notarized.
Who created the document? Do we know where the document came from? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, where would you get it? Well,
they didn't go into that. They just kind of put it up because right after that portion, they were just setting the foundation because that's when they then went into saying that everybody knew. They said, okay, after that, that's when they said people that David worked with were aware of her presence and who she was. Maybe not the relationship, but who she was. They said David, the managers in the record company, went with Celeste to Coachella in 2024. They said that his producer went out socially with David and Celeste. His last name's Toomey, Toomui. They said Celeste attended the Fonda Theater concert. It was on camera being seated with David's family. So that's when they were going into that whole foundation of like everyone is aware. Because even right before that, that's when they were talking about Celeste's older sister going to Vegas with them for that trip, and how David would pick up Celeste and take her on dates to the movies and the mall from the aunt's house in LA. So that's where it was all centered in, that they dropped that form.
Okay. So here's my other question. Do you know, okay, and this is the part that I was confused because we kept going back and forth on this. When they were trying to establish who knew about the relationship, and I believe it was the detective that was asked directly, if I remember Lauren Conlon or Taylor's notes specifically, they were asked, the detective was asked about David's mom knowing about the relationship, but was the question ever, did you know she was underage? Did you know, like, did they know she was a minor? Because the question was, did these people know about the relationship, but did they know that she was a minor? I feel like these are two separate questions.
Yeah, I will say this, something that frustrated me of information that was released on Friday, which was a completely inaccurate quote of a text, had been about that whole, the way the question was formed around her pregnancy, because some people framed it as the mom was telling him to ask directly, and that's not how it was. And a couple words matter, but the way they phrased it
thing that
was
stood out to me, because I was like, wait a minute, because I know that Ross said one way, and then I think was it Conlon said one way, and I said, you guys, these are two different questions. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, no, quote me on it when those transcripts come out, because I was getting frustrated because the quote was, and like at this point, I feel like I have it in my head, was also, my mom always told me to ask if ever in this situation, it is mine, right? And contextually, that is very different than just saying, my mom told me to ask if it's mine. So
Thank
is
you.
it good either way? No, but contextually, when you have these things, you need to be word for word. And I was shocked. I don't even know what mainstream it was, but I saw that going around and I was like, that's
Yeah.
not how that was
Yeah.
asked.
It was the
Well,
New York Post.
okay. And
So
what was more
there was a
definitive to
couple.
me was the fact that when Celeste asked about what his mom was going to say or think of them, that they were going to hook up, basically, that context was more damning to me out of the two in the text messages, that she
Yeah.
was seemingly like aware they were going to be intimate.
So Kat is asking which are the accurate, and then another question that we have, but Kat is asking which are the accurate, I can't even say anything, accurate words. Can you repeat the accurate words again, just to double check?
Yeah, it's, hold on, let me go back just so I can make sure.
Go
Let me
for
just,
Robert, in reference to the letter, the consulate usually, I think they tell you what the letter should have, and you type it and get it notarized, and you need
Yeah.
the permission from both parents. Because when I traveled with my goddaughter, that's how it was. We just signed it. They told us what it needed to include, and signatures from both parents.
Yes.
okay, I found it. It was in the context right before, it was talking about her appointment going to get the procedure done after she said 2 days. And then that's when David sent a text saying, also, my mother always told me to ask this question if in this situation. It is mine, right?
That is different than, to me, if in this situation tells me that if you ever find yourself where a girl is pregnant, you better ask her. Not
Yes.
like, okay. So then there was
From
another
the
part of
homeschool of
confusion.
Colleen Burke, that's what he was taught.
Gotcha. Thank you. The other question that people are asking, if whether you were able to capture who notarized the document.
I did not. So the
Okay.
defense was putting up that evidence and they showed like the whole page, but they didn't zoom in on that stamp, so you couldn't see. So, and I was writing down the notes, and sometimes they put up information on the projector and then they swipe it away quicker than you realize before you get the whole thing. So I wish I did, because it's driving me crazy that I didn't see who notarized it, but I didn't see it. The interesting thing though is on the prosecution cross, they didn't question it. They didn't challenge it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yes, Miss K. And you're right, guys. Ross was right. It was the New York Post, because I remember being conflicted because I said, well, Ross is saying this, but the New York Post said something else. The New York, let me see if I can pull it. New York Post,
And
and it was
mainstream had
media.
laptops behind us, so they could type.
They had computers. Y'all
Handwriting.
had notes. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it directly because I said this is so off. Hold up. Let's see. Okay, no, that was yesterday's article. I want to say it was it 4 days ago? Has it really been that long? It feels like it was just yesterday. Well, it was just yesterday, but here it is. This is how they wrote it. They said, my mom said, I have to ask this question. Don't get offended, but is it mine? Lord have mercy. That is different than what you read.
Yeah,
And what Ross
I don't
said.
even have don't get offended. I don't even that was not said.
Girl.
They were just making up words. I'm telling you, I wrote word for word, and if I missed any part of something, I wrote exactly missed part of something here. And so anytime I read through my notes, I would say, this is word for word. If I miss something, I'm going to tell you, but I can give you the context. So some of them had a few times there was an incredibly long text message. So I'd write as much as I could before they swiped it away. But then I'd write, okay, well, this was the context of the rest. I could not write down. But words matter. It's so important.
You guys got to go. I mean, listen, I'm giving my flowers to Mr. Ross over there, even though I've had my thoughts and opinions, but like the guy got it right, guys. This is the second person with the same quote in the New York Post when these text messages were released. This is what they wrote. They didn't even say offended. My mom said, this is a direct quote. My mom said, I have to ask this question. Don't get offended, but is it mine? That is how they wrote it. And let me go down just to make sure I'm not like misquoting or anything. And then she replied, of course it is. And that's That's it, man. That's when they go to the that's it. Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
yesterday I actually checked in the morning. I went to the computer in the courthouse to see if the transcript was ready so I could take a photo of that part for like proof but it wasn't ready yet. I am going to the court though tomorrow morning because there is a criminal record for Sheldon Jacques. I don't know how to say his name, and I want to get the details on what that was from 2021. It
Do we know
seems to
who he
be
is? Was he found?
well, I have his name, and I have his name from the transcript as well. Like I took a photo of that from the transcript for proof, and then I started looking, and I can see a charge from 2021. I want to say allegedly the charge offense number seems to be related to carrying a concealed weapon, but I want to go to the courthouse in the morning and pull the documents to see if that's what it was or if he has any other history. But it was a charge in Burbank, so in Los Angeles. So if he's in there, that's going to give some more information onto him because he was a player in some part of this.
I need you. I would like for you to contact me because there's something that there's something else we're trying to figure out too. And have you emailed me before?
I don't know. My email is thelightwithmarissa@gmail.com.
Okay.
Listen, back in the fall, I commented on one of your videos. I was like, I think I can do this stuff because I cover things. And you're like, yeah, go do it, girl. So then I went and did it.
I told you to go do it.
Yes.
I told you to go do it.
You gave me the confidence.
Girl,
yes.
You did it. You did it. You just don't ever doubt yourself. Go do it. You know what? I think I remember. There's a couple people, they do hit me up and they're like, what do you think? And I said, just do it. Go live. Do your thing.
Because I was getting frustrated of like other misinformation. And I'm such a detail-oriented person, and I can't stand misinformation or clickbait or any of that stuff. And I'm like, epic. Someone's got to get out there and get just the information and share the information as it is.
You have a gift.
I agree.
That's good. Literally. Oh my gosh, girl. You got it. Yes, yes. Storm's like, I told you. I'm like, I get so many comments, y'all. So please note, I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I do be getting a lot of comments, and I still have emails from last week that I got to catch up on. Okay. So I do apologize. I'm not trying to ignore people, but I'm so glad. I'm glad that you did it. So you're saying allegedly that Sheldon, I know you said his name correctly. I said Jack.
She really did. She said it really correct.
Shout out to you, girl. Shout out. Do you go by a different yes, shout out to Kadisha. She does TikTok, so she's got the TikTok and then she uploads to YouTube. So do you go by, is your name short, like do you go by a different name, or do you want us to say your full name? I just want to make sure we're not careful.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same on both. And I was messaging Kadisha earlier too, so about some of the Santa Barbara stuff up there and the maps.
Perfect. So I'm gonna give you my email because I do need there's something else that I kind of want to ask you outside of here.
I told Mark today that I would, because he missed some things, and I'm going to scan my notes and send to him, so I don't mind sending them to you as well. That's fine.
That would be amazing. You want a copy? Actually, yes, but I want you to get the credit because you're newer on YouTube, right? Are you bigger on TikTok? I'm kind of curious.
I mean, right now TikTok, but I'm just really small. I'm very small. I don't even have 10,000 on TikTok. I'm very tiny. I'm a baby creator.
Did you capture anything? I'm sorry. Did you capture anything on his parents being there at the house?
No. Oh, no. His family hasn't I don't know if they stepped foot in that city.
Because he said that his parents were there. He sent a text to Celeste saying that his parents were there. That's why she couldn't come over.
Not at the courthouse. I thought you meant the courthouse. I was like, they haven't come to the courthouse.
I'm sorry. I should have specified.
He said in his text messages that one of the reasons he didn't want her to come over, I can find the exact one, but contextually, he did not want her to come over because he was saying that his parents were there. And she was rebutting, like, give me proof because I don't believe you. You said they were there last week. So
did they show anything else about that? They just moved on from that. Any more details if they really were there?
No, they didn't. Yeah, they kind of moved on from it.
Yeah.
It was just in the conversation of like trying to emphasize that he kept saying, no, I don't want you to come over.
Yeah.
Which is true.
But we can't confirm whether the parents were actually there or not, correct?
No, not unless somebody finds something that connects them to before he went, because they were talking about before he leaves for Singapore. That was the conversation. So unless there's something showing that they arrived beforehand because they were going to travel with him,
Yeah.
Somebody would have to find that for actual proof.
Besides the first day, right? We already know what happened on the first day, but was there anything else that happened throughout that there's been like any misinformation or anything that you feel like needs to be cleared about what was actually said versus what's been printed besides this quote right here with the New York Times or the New York Post?
I'm trying to think offhand. There's just been so much information. I mean,
Oh, I remember
if
one
there's
thing.
anything you think of that I can clarify on it,
Yeah,
I can.
go for it, Abraham.
I do. About Celeste being at Coachella. Was she at Coachella or not?
We were told that she was brought to Coachella 2024 with David, his managers, and the record company.
Not 25.
No.
Which is probably when those texts are from, when she's arguing about Aysia and the jealousy, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, got it. So
Like she
BJ
took
was
her
right.
damn seat.
Yeah.
And that's because he said that Aysia had a reason to be at his house because she was picking up. Yeah, hold on. Let me go to these text messages because that like started out our morning on Friday.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear though? Do you want me to just
Yes,
go?
please go
Okay.
over the text messages. Yo,
Okay.
let me mute myself, girl. By the way, your channel is this right here. I just posted it up. Cool.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Okay. All right. Yes, please read the text messages. And we are doing this. Give me 1 second. Let me play this because you know the bots and the bots are botting. Give me 1 second, okay? Hello, everyone. Please note that this broadcast is strictly for educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic purposes. It falls under the EDSA. While the themes, imagery, or discussions may touch upon some graphic, sensitive, or challenging topics, the context is entirely analytical and educational. This stream does not encourage, promote, or glorify any kind of behavior or any acts, but rather provides critical analysis and historical documentation. In particular, we talk about a range of topics that fall under EDSA. Thank you for watching, guys, and make sure you hit the like button. Thank you. Go ahead. Proceed.
Okay, well that was brilliant. Do you want me to? I don't. If you want me to backtrack, I can, but I can just start off at Friday morning where we picked up, or I don't know what you guys know from text messages.
Why don't we start with like all text messages from the first? Is that okay, Abraham? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us everything. Tell us everything.
Tell us the text messages from the first text.
The whole
message.
enchilada? Okay, hold on.
Give us and the salsa and the green chili. Go for it, girl.
Okay, hold on. We got to go back pages. Oh my kitten's trying to eat my notebook. Please, that's evidence. That's not evidence.
No, don't do
no, kitty.
No, kitty. Tell the cat to stop.
Kiki, down, girl.
Just let us know when you go to a different date of whether it's the date of court and also whether it's a date of text, because that might be helpful to put into context.
Got it. Okay, here's Dr. Ho. So it was after It was after the ME.
Every time I kept hearing Dr. Ho, I kept laughing because I really thought they were like calling somebody a ho.
That man was so educational and incredible too. Like he was just not an easy job. Not an easy job. Okay. Detective Corey Farrell. He's the guy who's with robbery homicide. And he's the one who's working with Detective Josh Byers as the partner. So this is what they recovered from the iPhone 15 that was at David's home. And this is where they recovered. It was from September 17th, 2025 search warrant. They got it in the upstairs den loft area. And they were able to determine that this 0571 number belongs to David. And this was because it was connected to the course of the investigation. So when they go into, which also just, they asked if David was just living there, and they said that in another bedroom was all of Robert Morgenroth's luggage and items in another bedroom. So he couldn't say he's living there, but his items were in a whole other bedroom. They also had found David's passport, Texas driver's license, and David also had a North Carolina fake 21-year-old license. On the phone, he had to identify this as his phone. He had selfies of himself on the phone. He had photographs of his bank account, his credit card, his mother's credit card, a parking ticket for the Tesla from back in March. Then there was numerous photographs with Celeste. One that some people have seen involved the one where she's wearing the ring with David tattooed in red ink. Another one that we saw in the courtroom was he is holding the ring in his hand. And then this is in the sketch artist. There are two hands where like in this high five motion where they both had the tattoo showing, and her hand just looked so small next to his. Then they also talked about another photo of David and Celeste in the Tesla where her hair was red. One was curly and it was straightened in another. She's in the passenger seat. The detective noted that some of these photos, her hair was dyed this red. So that's how they were able to identify her sometimes if her face was covered. There's a photo of David and Celeste kissing in bed from their necks up. It was a close-up. There was 3 times of screenshots from Celeste and David on FaceTime. There was numerous photos on the phone corroborating an intimate relationship, that they were engaged in, I'll just say, a lot of activities. But his bedroom is in the background of these photos at Doheny, which is how they connected it. So, and on the lock screen of this phone, which I'll just say, it makes me wonder who saw this phone, is the 2 of them. And they're in an embrace where neither one of them has clothing on the top half of their body. So then it goes into the messages on the phone. I'm going to skip over, but we heard the detail of 45 CCM images, fully detailed. That was hard to do.
45. It went
45.
into details about the pictures. Okay.
Yeah, they literally went, Beth Silverman, so obviously they don't show anything in court, but they went up with a packet to the detective and his attorney stood behind him. The judge had a copy, and the way they went over them in court was they detailed every single photo to us of what was happening.
Oh my God.
And it was horrible. It was horrible.
We don't need to detail that here, yo.
Nope.
Skip me the details, please, and thank you.
Yeah. But it verifies that that relationship was going on. So the first communication that they had in the iCloud data, because they pulled from that, was from August 8th, 2022. And that's when Celeste was 11 years old. The very last communication they verified they had was from April 23rd, 2025. In the contacts on his phone, she's listed as Cel, C-E-L. Now, the text messages, let's see, hold on, let me skip this part. Because then they talked about a few more photos with them holding the Plan B in the car. Okay, here we go. They gave us their phone numbers too. So on November 25th, 2023, at 10:14 p.m., Celeste texts, currently she said feeding, but she's trying to say manifesting my period because I refuse to have kids. David replies, did you miss your date? You should start tracking, use flow. On November 26th at 6:17 a.m., they're reminding us that she's 13 years old. David says, I know now, you should start tracking. Now it's ovulation. You should start tracking. I just need to know you are on top of your shit. Celeste says to David, wait, hold on. That part they messed up, so I gotta skip that one. They messed up on something because they presented a text that was later on during this.
Yeah, take your time.
David says, damn near impossible. We both didn't finish. Celeste says, yeah, you're right. They said age during November 2023, David's 18 years old. We then go to December 1st, 2023 at 7:29 p.m. David, I have different name and aliases and shit though. I go by Travion Davis here. All my packages and everything. Celeste says, please be joking. David, nah. December 20th, 2023 at 1:47 p.m. David, it was fun as shit. Celeste, do I take the Plan B? David, if you don't feel any symptoms, take it tomorrow. You have 72 hours. Take it sober too, by the way. December 31st, 2023 at 6:37 p.m. David, why not? Why not one band when you deserve 10? Celeste, 10 because you effed me 10 times. They remind everyone that she's still 13 at this time. 6:38 p.m. David says, 6 actually, baby. Celeste says, how you know? We then move to January 8th, 2024 at 5:31 a.m. David says, I'm sorry again, baby. I didn't ever want to put you through this. Celeste goes, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Both of us aren't able to take care of it. David, I know, but still. Celeste, don't worry about it, my love. David, you're so much stronger than me, baby. LMAO, I love you. Celeste, I love you more, my love. It's okay, though. Don't worry. Neither of us are capable of taking care of or watching the baby. David texts, yeah, I know. At 10:51 a.m., David messages, when you gonna get it done? Celeste, 2 days. David, also, my mother always told me to ask this question if in the situation, it is mine, right? David, yeah, I know, baby, I have to ask so I don't feel like a complete F up for her. I'm going to stop there. The context for her, he's saying
Yes.
he doesn't want to feel like a complete F up for his mother.
That's what I figured, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like, not for her,
Not
just
for
for
her,
his
exactly.
mom.
For his mom.
Forget the trauma I put you through.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
stopping there and explaining that. Thank you. Let me mute.
That's what I do. And then David continues in text, wait, but the appointment at 9, no? Celeste, 9:30. David, it should take 45. Celeste, shut the F up. 6:47 p.m. David, how it go? Celeste, she sends an object. They're not able to show us what that is, but basically it means a photo, a GIF, or an emoji. At 6:49, she says, about to be done. Like 10 minutes probably. At 10:52 a.m., David sends, I feel like a N-word waiting for test results. Like I'm waiting to hear about the process and shit. I keep asking about it. LMAO. On January 23rd, 2024, at 2:30 p.m., Celeste goes, do you think I can put concealer over the tattoo yet? They remind everyone she's still 13 years old.
Let me stop you right here. You said,
yeah.
You said, I feel like an N-word waiting for results. Test results? Am I hearing this correctly? Or pregnancy
That's what
results?
he said. I feel like an N-word waiting for test results. This is when he's waiting to hear that she's done with her medical procedure.
On what day?
Gotcha.
Did they have a date?
Crazy. Do you want me to keep going?
Do they have a date? That's the question that Abraham has.
The date? Yeah, wait, hold on. That is on January 8th, 2024.
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. Then we go to January 23rd, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Celeste texts, do you think I can put concealer over the tattoo yet? And then again, so they reminded everyone she's 13 years old. They then go to February 11th through February 14th, 2024. Contextually, we're going into the Operation Awesome area. Okay, so David texts, I is CU 14th of V-Day, then 15th operation. And they noted on the side contextually, the operation is going to be about moving in together. Celeste says KK. At 11:58 a.m., David texts WTF. Celeste, Operation Awesome going to be so hard. David, hard as in hard to do or as in full Balenciaga fit hard? Celeste, I don't know what to bring. David, and he did this in all caps, we've been over this for weeks. Anything you use that I can't, let me turn the page, that I can't replace immediately, you bring. Clothes, makeup, shoes. Celeste, how am I going to bring though? I don't have anything. On February 13th at 4:45 p.m., David says, I'm giving you 2 duffel bags when I see you. Celeste, I don't even got half of what I want to bring and I can't carry. David, for V-Day or OA? Celeste, OA. I'm going to stop, context OA. They're referencing this Operation Awesome, which is them moving in together. Then they go on still February 13th, 2024 at 4:47 p.m. David texts, you want me and Sheldon to hide out somewhere and help you bring to the car? Celeste, OMG, no, that's so embarrassing, Dave. David, this is the most important day of your life next to the wedding day, and you worried about being embarrassed. My handwriting got bad here because it was going so fast. And then I put after that, I missed something there because we were getting paragraphs about that wedding day. So I did miss something right after the wedding day being most important.
Can I stop you for 1 second so I can ask you something? What is the date that he says that Sheldon and him can go wait for her outside?
Yes.
Yeah, that's February 13th, 2024.
Okay.
Y'all writing these dates down, people? Keep those dates in mind. Thank you.
I got you. Okay. Then David texts, quick to easy. Don't overcomplicate it. Sometimes the way they text is just, not always easy. But yeah, that's what he said. Quick, too easy, don't overcomplicate it. Celeste,
Yeah.
shut the F up. David sends, I'm serious. Celeste, I'll text you later because I'm cleaning. David, okay, love you. About to go finish up the phone stuff and add service and shit. They noted that this is a phone that has not been found that they're referencing.
Wow.
They also noted at this point that Sheldon was hired as his bodyguard for David by Mogul Vision. Then they go to February 14th, 2024. They said this is the date that Celeste was reported missing. At 2:17 p.m., David texts, so explain to me what you want to do. I tell Sheldon to stop at stop sign and you make multiple trips? Celeste said, hell no. David, so how are you going to carry heavy bags? Celeste, not heavy if that's small. David, nah, you're supposed to use the duffel. What were you packing in last time? Celeste, I literally don't have anything to pack with. I got a tote bag. David in all caps, why ain't you tell me, N-word? Celeste, I did. David, third Birkin then, F it, but garbage bag method. So contextually, he wants her to just throw everything in a garbage bag to meet them outside. David, text, you have too much stuff for that little A bag. And then I missed something here because it was a paragraph and it ended with something that was so confusing. He said, you can't F that little ASS dog. So I don't know if dog meant to be bag. It didn't make sense to any of us. So it must have
Dog?
been some, yeah, you can't F that little ass dog.
Did Celeste have any pets? Do we know,
Oh, maybe
chat?
like you can't pack.
I don't know.
Because it didn't, that's something that we're all like, what does that even mean?
Because I could see, like, I'm thinking, let's say she had a dog at her parents' house. You can F that little dog, like, leave that dog. You don't have to bring the dog. Did Celeste have any pets at home? Maybe it was a typo. Maybe at her parents. Kind of wondering. All right, or stuffed animal. I don't know, man. That's what I would think too. Oh, sorry, I'm like echoing.
So this was February 13th when they were talking, and I'm assuming she ran off with him that day or the next day, and then 3 days later on the 17th, his house got searched, but I think it was the new one that he signed the lease for on the 14th, not the other one that he came from, which is like the delete everything house, I think. So maybe that's where he was hiding her.
So great question. Oh, are you there?
Oh, yep, sorry. Yeah, she was going to, my understanding is I think she was going to the smaller house, but they didn't verify exactly because, yeah, that's when they went to go check that welfare check a couple days later was at the lower Doheny house.
Yeah. And they didn't check that house too. I mean, if they knew that he lived there, I'm surprised they didn't check that house. That's the only place he would have been hiding her, I think. Interesting.
That's interesting. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm
Okay.
on mute now.
No, yeah. So continuing on, so we're still on that Valentine's Day. At 2:38 p.m., Celeste texts, it fit. David says, me and Sheldon gonna be there 11:50. Then at 10:17 p.m., Celeste texts, hey. David says, hey, my love. Ask you like 1,000 times already, but you ready for this? Celeste says, yeah. They then skip to June 2024. And this, they remind everybody that Celeste is 13 years old at this time and David is 19 years old. They note that there's a phone number change for Celeste. So the implication is that it's this new phone that he was setting up for her. So June 9th at 11:52 p.m., Celeste messages, what you doing? Celeste says, my crack itchy. David says, my ball sticky. It's an awkward conversation.
Take a shower.
At 8 a.m., Celeste says, I'm going to shower right now. David says, bet. Wash your ASS for real, since it was itchy last night, but you know what that means. And then I didn't get the exact wording of this next message from Celeste, but she said something about how something was up her behind. And David replies, that shit got stained. David says, I feel sore as F, clapping them cheeks. And then, hold on, I gotta turn a page. This is where they missed the text message earlier about her getting periods. because she asks, what if, yeah, this is where Celeste says, what if the first, I'll say, medical procedure didn't work? David says, you would have a baby bump. You have had hella periods since then. Need to record so we have something while away. Then I missed something here. I picked up right after with Celeste saying, we recording everything. I miss you like we used to. And the like we used to contextually was in reference to recording material again. Then on June 11th, 2024, at 12:03 a.m., Celeste said, I sent you a TITTY video on IG. Open it tomorrow. David said, man, I just opened it and Will jumped. Contextually, Will is apparently what his nickname is for his dongalong. Celeste says, we need makeout vid. We only have kisses. David says, dead ASS, no more pics, only videos. At 12:06 a.m., Celeste says, need pic of you giving me back shots. David says, August 11th through 17th in Vegas, baby, booked Trump Hotel. Celeste, how much your dumbass pay? David, I can't wait to move in together without the cops bitching. Can I say that here?
Yes, you can.
Okay, bitching, baby. Then I missed something, but he was saying to take you out every day. The context of what he was saying in that text, because he wanted to take her out on dates and go places out with her every day. But the cops were interfering with that. Back to the actual text, Celeste says, I miss you so much. David says, you're going to be with me everywhere. He said, 4-year vacay. Slide back, get the rest of your documents. We slip out the country and get married in Italy. Celeste says, LMAO. David says, I'm just saying, it seems God's made something happen with no police. And I was missing something. There's a long paragraph, but basically, like, no police were bothering them. And like, there was a pause kind of on the missing posters. So they felt like they just had this break from everything and were able to just kind of, I guess, live without the cops breathing down their back. Then on June 11th, 2024, Celeste texts, I got pregnancy symptoms. I don't like this. David says, it's okay. We don't know for sure. Celeste says, what if the first medical procedure didn't work? David said, wait, hold on. That was going back June 11th. Okay, wait, that's where I messed something up. Hold on, sorry. This is where they did the mess up. They messed up that what if the medical procedure didn't work and he said you'd have a baby bump. So the first one, that's where I should have been crossing it out. That wasn't June 9th. This happened on June 11th, that conversation. So apologies. There's a 2-day later conversation.
Don't worry. Don't apologize. My goodness. It's a lot of notes. I mean, literally, you got so much. The people in the chat. Sylvia, where's my support? She said, I traded Sylvia and Becky. Never. I don't trade. I add to the community.
This is great because you got
this is great, man.
Details, everything. Nice job.
You know, I'm
God
just
gave us 2 ears for a reason to listen. So I like to listen.
Man. There you go. And I mean, literally, what was interesting, Sylvia said that she had to, she was like, I don't know how she got those messages because she was squinting and you were able to get them. So good job.
I got some 2020 working for me. I tried.
Good job. Let me mute. Go ahead. Keep going, girl.
Okay. Let's see. David had replied, but nah, first baby gone. Celeste says, I hope. Celeste says, David said, let's let this medical procedure be the last one till we have the real one. If we end up having twins, cool, because we wanted 2 kids. Anything more? Adoption. Celeste says, what if same gender? David, damn, I didn't think about that. We have a clear vision of how we want to build the fam, right? Let's stick to it. Celeste then sends an object, so an emoji, photo, or a GIF. David says, I don't want your, another word for like kitty cat, getting crazy loose. So the context was like, if she has too many babies. He's saying this to a 13-year-old.
Oh my God.
Then on June 13th 2024 at 9:12 a.m., David messages, and I also got another business credit card approved for you to use. All tax write-off, clothes, shoes, whatever in LA. Celeste responds with a female emoji. So like when you go to the bathroom, there's a male, female, it's a female. And she says, jewelry, smiley face. David says, I just want no posters and you to be able to get on planes. I'm able to pay you and get a new credit card now. So don't have to worry about money part of Operation Awesome. So the context about he wants no posters meant the missing posters. Then they go on to June 14th at 10:41 p.m. Celeste said, Plan B picture might look cute in there though. David, send to me. OMG, dude. Our first Plan B video is effing gone. I'm so mad. Celeste says, for real? David, unless you have somewhere. Celeste, no. She then sends a bunch of objects that, again, we cannot see. She says, should I add one of these into post? David said, it's between this, and this, because Lana in the background too. I made a note on the side, so I'm going to stop a minute. I put, who's Lana? So I don't know if anybody knows who Lana is or if Lana was mentioned
Who's
before.
Lana? Anybody in the channel who's Lana? So read that part again where he says when he first drops her name.
Yeah, so they were talking about a post. He said it's between this, and this. Seemed like they were sending photos because Lana in the background too.
And they said Lana, right?
Yep.
L-A-N-A.
So I wrote who's Lana because I haven't heard that yet. Unless they're talking about a song like Lana Del Rey or something
Lana
like
Del
that.
Rey?
like the music. I don't know because we can't see exactly what they were sharing to choose from for whatever post they were doing. The object the photos don't show to us.
Do you know what date that is? That date
That's
of the post?
June 14th of 24.
Okay, June 14th of 24, guys. Lana has entered the chat. There you go. Let me mute. Go ahead.
Then we have Celeste saying pick. David says Plan B, the blurry one though. During this part, David was taking, I noted, tons of notes. He was not taking notes previous to this, but when we got into text messages and the CCM photos, he was for the first time writing a ton and leaning over to his lawyer a lot. David then texts, I want to post something and post about you type of vibe, I think. Again, sometimes they don't text English well. Celeste says, you can't see my hair there. It's red. Not Vincent or Val thinking I got straight hair or red. David says, surely they remember your hands though. You have distinct hands. So contextually, she was worried about a post that we don't know about that they were trying to do and being recognized from that post due to her hair. So she had concerns about that with the missing status. Now on June 15th, 2024, Celeste messages, I miss effing. David says, I know. Now that I think about it, we got really good at a sec though. On June 19th, 2024, at 1:18 a.m., Celeste messages and says, your mom know we had sex yet? David says, she thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. Now, I'm going to stop. That is the text I'm referring to that I thought was more damning than the let me ask you if ever in the situation, because to me, it was like clear that was alluding to this knowledge of their relationship and their intimacy.
Wait. So Kadisha's asking Vince and Val? Question mark.
Yeah, she said not Vincent or Val thinking I got straight hair or red. So, and that's when they're talking about whatever this post is they're going to do. So maybe they wouldn't recognize if her hair had been black, if she dyed it during this Operation Awesome, like of going there, if like she was trying to change her outer look.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Yes. Now you said you felt like this portion was more damning. Can you elaborate? You just said something, but elaborate more on that. Tell me why you felt like that was more damning.
I thought this was more damning than my mom told me to ask if ever in the situation, because that's not a direct line of, hey, my mom's aware of this. She's telling me, ask who's that mine, right? That's, hey, this is something I've grown up being aware of and told in a situation. This to me, when he says she thinks your mom, when Celeste says, your mom know we had sex yet, and he says, she thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. To me, that's saying that she is aware of a relationship and she's aware that this is more than just a relationship, that it's an intimate relationship.
I agree.
And that's in
Whoa,
June of
shit.
2024.
Clock the date, guys. Keep the note. This is really good. Keep going. Let me mute.
Okay, so then at 11:24 a.m., Celeste texts, I can see you and sleep over. Just don't get me pregnant, please. David said, we've done a good job the past few months, baby. Only time was because of effed up condom in December. On June 23rd, 2024, at 10:59 p.m., David says, rate sex today out of 10. Celeste sends an object that we cannot see. She says, I love you more. I don't know. That shit felt so good. At 12:13 a.m., David messages, need more hickeys. Celeste says, my upper area is sore and my lower area. I'll just say it that way. David says, let me know if I'm ever too rough, baby. Celeste says, you're not, but it's sore. They reminded the court at this time that Celeste is still 13 years old. On June 24th of 2024, they noted that a lot of these texts were lining up with the numerous CSAM photos, specifically 9 of them, that they found on the phone, where David was positioned in various ways with her. They talk about June 25th, 2024. Oh, wait, hold on. They just gave other dates of that aligned with photos, but I'm not going to talk about those. So June 26th, 2024 at 10:13 a.m., Celeste says, give me a sex. David says, KKK. On June 27th, 2024, 9 a.m., Celeste says, we effed and it hit, but then underneath that she said, and it hurt. So hit was a typo, it seemed. She meant to say, and it hurt so much. David says, nuh-uh, I remember every time you say ow when we F. And last time you ain't say ow once. Celeste says, yes, last time I ran to the restroom, my, let's say kitty cat and her booty hurt. Then I missed something here. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was about that same conversation. I missed like a sentence. Celeste says, so hurtness. They emphasize again that Celeste is 13 years old still. On July 9th, 2024, at 1:25 a.m., David says, I'm thinking about your medical procedure gift. Celeste says, I want Balenciaga hourglass purse. You as ever just think we have whole ass smex tape? David said, few of them, yep. Celeste says, is no leak it, please. David replies in capitals, N-word, you don't leak it.
Wow. You
Then
know
we
what's so
have
interesting here? Let me stop you right
Yeah,
here.
go. Yeah.
Abraham, you talk about, they're talking about the morning after and all this other stuff, and then the other, to terminate the pregnancy. But I don't hear them actually talk about, wait, there was the conversation between the cap breaking, the C breaking.
Yes, saying that it
The
broke in
glove
December.
breaking. They did.
Yes.
Okay, so they do. Yeah, now I remember. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, we are at July 10th, 2024 at 11:12 p.m. Celeste says, does anyone know we even had SMEX? David says, then let's get married next year, make the baby simply. And he then answers the question, nope, and I would like to keep it that way before we get married. David says, can I F you pressed up on the window in Vegas? Celeste says, you want to? David, I want to F you everywhere. We still ain't F everywhere yet. And then I missed the exact wording, but the context was he was talking about intimately doing it everywhere on the couch, writing it. And he said at one point, I can't say, he did say, please, mommy, in that conversation. Now back to like the actual text. David says, I just need my face in between your thighs. Celeste says, you are always between my legs in general. Then it moves to, they note that Celeste is staying with her aunt in LA County for this next part.
What's the
They say
date?
in all, yeah, go ahead.
The date.
Oh yeah, for the next one or before
Yeah,
that?
for the next one. The
The
one where
next one
she's
is
still with her
August
aunt.
22nd, 2024.
Okay, thanks.
That's the next text. Now, this is where it was a paragraph text, and they did not leave that up long, but here's what I can give you contextually. This is where David messaged Celeste, and he was saying to her that she's enough for him. and mentioning a part that she used to only come to his house before past 11 p.m. and that he had wanted real dates and places. He was saying that he doesn't need friends and that he tells her that she is his everything. And he said, for me, and I mean that, he was talking to her and asking why she constantly complains about other people in her life. And the context there was that they were showing text basically almost like she was missing the people in her life, like her friends and stuff. And he's asking her, why is she complaining about that? And because he's positioning it that, again, this is where we have manipulation and gaslighting, that like he doesn't need friends, he's given up things, she's enough for him. And why is she complaining? And then he said, don't get too close to males and don't think about prior things. The insinuation was like, don't think about that life before, let's focus on this now. So it was an incredibly long paragraph, but that was the context of that one. He also said he found out that they used to see each other 2 times a week past 11 p.m. And I'm just going to note, when we talk about those Ubers that was sent, they noted that this was not out of the ordinary because he used to send Ubers to her. And it would bring her to him, and then they would do what they did, and it would bring her back. So that was not uncommon situation for them. It was something that was typical.
Can I say something there?
Yeah.
Which means that if this was happening at night, her parents probably weren't even aware that she was gone overnight. If she was back before morning,
Possibly.
perhaps.
Yeah. Then we go to August 30th, 2024 at 2:08 a.m. Celeste says, realistically, I care about you. I unalived my kid for you, say. David says it has to be in the right time with least complications. Celeste says, I still would have been there for it. David, yeah, selfishly, because it also would have been mine. Celeste says, David, I'm going to have to lie to people all around me, even my kid. I'd do anything to get it back. Still took an innocent life of a little baby. So contextually, this is when we start seeing the regret for the medical procedure that she had. Back at the text, David says, let's end it there. Celeste says, I'm about to talk about it without crying. I'm still willing to talk about it. David says, I don't like talking to you when you get upset. I'm saddened by it, more saddened by the way it was conceived outside of marriage. I missed something in that paragraph, but it picked up by saying, I can't change it, but I can change the way the next child goes. Then it moves to September 7th, 2024, which is her 14th birthday. Celeste messages, I haven't taken a pregnancy test in a minute. David says, because you haven't missed a period yet. We'll take one when I see you. On September 12th, 2024 at 2:37 p.m., Celeste says, I'm a little scared. I haven't gotten preg in a minute, and we F a lot. So David says, because we also have SMEX when you least likely to get pregnant. You can only get pregnant 3 to 5 days of the month. Celeste says, oh, I was scared. On September 22nd, 2024, Celeste says, so am I going to get pregnant? David, that's why I try to have SMEX on days you're not ovulating. They then note that this is when David purchased an airline ticket for the end of September 24 to London. And from there, they went from London to Texas to visit his family. And just contextually, it was just showing again those messages that, at least in my opinion, she just turned 14 then. Like, she doesn't understand all of this and how this works with your period and getting pregnant. Like, that whole conversation is showing how young of a child she is. I mean, my daughter just turned 14 this month. She would not be able to have that. I mean, she knows about it all, but like having these conversations is insane to have.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Then we have November. This is where it starts changing. November 7th, 2024. Celeste messages, I literally had SMEX with you for almost a year straight. David says, treating like the first breakup. It's the 8th time. On December 20th, 2024, Celeste says, we didn't though. You invited me to your house to cuddle. I was going to go home. We could have kissed and left it at that. David, we did. You asked me to have SMEX and I folded. Celeste, don't you see SMEX as connection? David, then you cried and I held you. then I missed something there. But the context is he was saying that he, David himself, is passive, and that Celeste is the one always initiating and saying that it's complicated. So that was, I couldn't get the full thing, but that was the context of the rest of that. Then we went into March 14th, 2025. So about a month before the homicide. Celeste says, I want to be friends, but like online. I don't want anything to do with you in person anymore. David says, oh, okay. Celeste says, I feel like the way you're going, we both have to move on. Then I missed something. And it was, again, a long paragraph, but she was talking about how to move on. She did say, maybe if things were different, all we do is have, this is that quote, smacks, I want more than that. And without a label is insane. That's where we stopped on Thursday. So that was the end of that day.
Wow. Ooh, girl, that is a lot. And then there's more on Friday too, right?
Yeah, it picks up on Friday.
Or
Yeah,
is
there
Friday
wasn't much
pretty
more
long
on Friday.
Okay, so are you okay going through them right now with us?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna mute. Go ahead.
Okay, so Friday we picked up, and they put Detective Corey back on the stand. He mentioned at the beginning that he reviewed 8,000 to 9,000 text messages up to the day that Celeste was unalived. And they go to April 22nd, 2025. And at 10:06 p.m., Celeste messages, but can you tell me why you want to be friends with Aysia? Bro, just bump into her. No need for friendship. Keep her as a damn acquaintance, like Lane or Rob. And you really saying you'd end our friendship just to be friends with her over me is disturbing and disgusting to me on a deeper level, David. David says, when did I say I'd end my friendship with you for her? Celeste, someone who has known you for years over one. Bro, I said I didn't want to be friends with you if you want to be friends with her. She says, why was she at your house then? David, at my house when? At 8:04? This is where they stopped and contextually told us this was the 804 Doheny Drive address that they were referencing. And they told us that this was referencing the February 17th, 2024 date. So she must have seen something where she had been there, but that's what they told us it was about. David replies at 10:20, for Coachella, everyone came to get guest wristbands, so she does have a reason. Celeste replies, and I'm sure people saw this. This is where she said, OMFG, I swear to God, I will unalive you. She was in my damn seat. I don't know, can we, I guess, choke you out to effing death? Bro, I will tell my dad so many effing lies, dead ass. I will end your career and damage everything. She posted being at your effing house, weirdo. And then on April 23rd, 2025 at 10:57 a.m., David texts, are you coming at 9 or is it too early or late for you? Celeste says, I told you I can go whenever. What do you mean? Me be there at 9 or leave at 9? David says, leave at 9. Celeste, actually, yeah, I can be in Riverside for it too if you want. Then at 3:54 p.m., Celeste says, David, by the way, is it chill if you get Uber at 8:30? I'm going to be back at Elsinore then, and it's harder to get Ubers here. David says, so get it to your house or down the street or something. Celeste says, let me check. Get it to 33070. At 5:07 p.m., David says, why do I have to show you everything I get? Celeste, because I had your embryo in me. At 8:20 p.m., David says, get Uber, queen. Or no, wait, hold on. Celeste said, get Uber, queen, 33070. David says, getting it. Celeste says, Jameson Street, 8:34 p.m. David says, 4 minutes, 1 minute. At 8:39 p.m., he says he's there. Celeste says, okay. Then she texts at 10:02 p.m., girly pop, I'm almost there. Open your door if you're home. David says, got you. Gate open, door unlocked. At 10:31 p.m., David texts Celeste, Uber said you're here. Where you at? At 10:33 p.m., he texts hello. At 10:36 p.m., he texts bro. Celeste. At 10:58 p.m., he texts bro. Blocking me? Hello. At 11:37 p.m., he texts, bro, I'ma call Jen, bruh. You're scaring me. At 11:41 p.m., he texts, WTF, where are you? Please. That's basically where it stops. And they reference that the Uber records said that at 10:10 p.m., they arrived to David's home. The cellular mapping proves that David left the residence, well, at least his Tesla and phone did, to travel to Santa Barbara at approximately just before 11:30 p.m. There was a data transmission from the vehicle at 11:01 p.m. They noted that his new album was dropping on April 25th, 2025, and that David's last message to Celeste's phone was on April 26, 2025. They showed that the Tesla infotainment information that was programmed into his Tesla in May showed two locations that he drove to, Lake Cachuma and the supercharger Santa Ynez. And that's where they end before they go into cross-examination, if you want me to stop there.
Yeah, let's stop right here. Oh my God. So yeah, basically when she stops responding is when they say that she had already passed away, right? Or she was already gone. Wow.
Yeah, he was like setting up that, already like trying to set this up, right? With those texts after.
Wow. Did you notice anything about David though in court? Like, were you able to get any kind of view of him and his reaction? Was he really kind of just?
He's first of all, a lot of people may not realize, he is small. In person, he looks so small. That's the best way to describe him. He had gotten, like, in the beginning status conference, he seemed more nervous and then got comfortable throughout the status conferences. He seemed pretty comfortable in the beginning of these hearings. But again, the first time I saw him ever talking, really speaking with his lawyers or suddenly writing was when we were hearing text messages and about the photos that were being shown. That's the first time he started writing. And as a reminder too, he can write these notes, but they stay with his lawyer. He's not allowed to have anything back in his cell with him at the jail. So he can write whatever he wants, but they stay with the lawyer. But it's the first time he suddenly is making notes. And yesterday he was making notes as well.
Wow. So, any other questions that you have about him?
I mean, not a question, but I just think this is very interesting because you can see a progression of her being so into him and then all of a sudden kind of, being blinded and gaslit, being promised all these things. And all of a sudden she's kind of seeing, what's going on, waking up and seeing that things are not what they are. And him constantly, you can tell that she's constantly wanting to be public or does not want to be hidden, but he knows he has to keep her hidden. All these promises that he's making her, knowing that he cannot marry her at that age, knowing that they can't have a baby at that age and live free, because they'll lock him up. So he makes all these promises to her, knowing that they are not true. So to say that he loved her, no, he just wanted one thing, and that's what he was getting. That's not love. He knew none of these promises were going to come to fruition. They legally he would not have been able to.
And I just want to ask if these are the only messages. These are not the only messages. They went through so many. And actually, when if we continue with the cross-examination did bring up other text messages that were not shown because it works more in their favor. But this is like just a layer of text messages and exchanges that they have. So there's so much more. I'm sure we might see more in trial, but this is just some of them. This is not all of their communications.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more during trial. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I highly doubt that I doubt that it's just that, especially if they said the number that they said that they had, right? Like it was a lot. Oh my God. And now you said you also have a daughter around Celeste's age. How are you taking care of yourself?
Yeah, she just turned 14 this month. So she just had her middle school promotion. She's starting high school in a couple weeks. Yeah. So
okay.
It weighs heavy. My daughter's though? Yeah, I have I'm very listen, Friday was hard. Friday was probably the toughest day because we had the medical examiner. And then we started going through the text. Then we saw, it's like you went from the medical examiner and we saw what we saw, which was just horrific.
Yeah.
So that made me, it was horrific because you didn't recognize a child or a person at all in those photos.
Yeah.
When they say they couldn't identify her, you couldn't identify her. It was horrible. And then we went from that, and after lunch, we came back, medical examiner was done. And then what we saw, where we were seeing photos of her now as a person and alive next to David, right? We flipped the script and we saw her, and then we're hearing from her and her voice in these text messages. So it was an emotional roller coaster that day. A lot of us in the gallery were just, it was hard, and we were quiet because afterwards, because it was just, you take so much in. The goal and the focus is to get all the information you can. But what happens is you get home and then it sits with you. I mean, I went to my daughter and I'm like, girl, I know you're smart. I know I've raised you the right way. She doesn't even have this internet access or social media. And she always tells me, Mom, I don't know why kids my age need social media. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be on there. And so like, I know she's good, but I was like, listen,
Yeah.
you're about to start high school. You promised me, I need to remind you, you and your friends never talk to anybody that tries to come near those gates or anything like that, or anything happens. You talk to, like, I've always felt this very motherly way towards Celeste. I don't know what to do. It's because I'm like, I live out here, and I've just felt this poor girl had nobody. And I've always felt that her soul, you know, screamed for someone to recognize that she was there. And I mean, the fact that even that Caltrans worker found her passport card is a 1 in a million chance on the random side of the road. And I think certain things happen because this girl needs justice. So the way I looked at it, and I position myself in my headset and mindset every day I go into that courtroom, is I'm trying to show up for her, because her story has to be told. It's not David's story. Her story needs to be told. And her story needs to be told, and to warn others and to protect her memory, because I hope that people never remember her as the way she left this world and in that state, but who she was outside of that. And that she was a child that needs some type of representation. And unfortunately, no one represented her. So I feel this way, like I've got to represent her and her story, that it needs to be out there, because she doesn't deserve to be forgotten. And people need to take precautions from these things.
Damn.
But I did take a break after Friday. Like I took a break.
Good.
I didn't do anything Saturday, and I didn't even post my videos till Sunday. And I played Tetris because I was telling Becky, apparently Tetris is supposed to help scientifically with trauma if you play it. So I was playing Tetris the rest of the weekend. I don't know if it's going to help. We'll see. But like, that's what I was doing.
Man, you listen. Hey, man, you know, take care of you, right? Because it was pretty rough, that the Friday morning and then the evening. It was just, I mean, I wasn't even there, and I was like, I gotta log off, y'all, because this is too much. So yeah, somebody said Tetris. Yeah, Tetris is great. I want you. I have my email up here. I want you to. Can you shoot me an email? I'm gonna give you my number because I want us to.
Yeah.
You being over there, I think, is an asset. And then the way that you take your notes, and I love that you were able to even substantiate and support what Ross put out there too. Because like I said, you know, we have the New York Post is out there and they got their computers, and then you got people over here, you know, with the YouTubers writing notes on the paper. But do you see how much she captured, guys? Like, this is a lot. She captured a lot. Like,
and so detailed with dates and everything.
Yes. Some people wouldn't do that. I mean, good for you. So you said you're at 500 subscribers, right? I don't know what is they change the rules very often. You're at 433. Hold up. Let's see. Let's refresh real quick. Let me see where you're at. You're at 477. Is it 500 now to get are you monetized yet?
No, I'm not monetized anywhere yet.
We
No.
gotta get you monetized.
No.
I see that you have a buy me a coffee. Okay, so hit me up in the email, please. Because I think that we could definitely, we're not there yet, but when we do get there, which will be a trial, unless something happens between now and, because you never know, man. I mean, he might have a change of heart and say, doesn't look like I have much of a defense. You never know. Yes, let me drop the link again so you guys can go sub. And the channel name is The Light True Crime. That's what it is. I was like saying your name wrong.
Yeah. The whole thing is whatever happens in the dark comes to light, and it's just trying to shed light on all these things and shed light on the truth and for the victims.
Do you have the notes for the prosecutor's closing too?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Okay.
Word for word.
Let's. She's like, girl, what are you talking about? I got it now.
The best.
Are you available tomorrow if we were to go through the prosecution's closing?
Yeah.
I would say, okay. So is I want to, you know, your schedule, not mine. Say like you're in Cali, right? So I'm thinking 11. Well, no, not 11. That'll be What time is it in Cali right now? Is it 7:37?
It is.
Okay. If I said 12:30 Cali time, would you be available tomorrow? And you could
Yeah.
give us the rundown? Okay.
I got you.
I think I'm great for it because we're like literally we're almost 3 hours in, and I have to get off because I got baby bunny. So I really appreciate it. I want to make sure that as you listen, there's no reason why people can't come to you. You look at the notes. You take fantastic notes. You should be able to be supported, of course, independently, but also like whatever we can do to support you as well. I think it's amazing, and I'm glad that you started. Did I really say go do a channel?
Yeah, no, I remember posting something on something because there was, I don't know if it was related to the Melody Buzzard case. Maybe
Okay.
it was back
Yeah.
then because there was some stuff that was, because I started covering that right away because it's in my area and I saw it on the news, right? So there was stuff that like I saw, and there was like publications getting some stuff wrong. And I was getting like frustrated because they said I'd like detail, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should start looking into some of this and doing it. And I'm a research I have ADHD. I can research. I can go down that rabbit hole. I am there.
Yeah.
So
and me
like,
both.
and I said something and you're like, I always tell everyone to just do it. Go for it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just should. I mean, I worked in the entertainment industry here for a decade with Hulu and Disney. So like, I'm not new to the game. I'm aware of like the industry and stuff. And I've worked in this stuff. I've taken journalism. I've communications, and I even took criminology class back in college for funsies. So like, it's not apparently it's not totally out of the realm of concept that I was like, I just need to go into this because sometimes I don't trust everybody else. So I can count on me.
You have to go find out on your own. And not only that, I mean, people, you'll attract those kinds of people that really find what you do very exciting. So I think it's amazing. And I think that clearly you have a talent to capture great notes. Like, oh my God, I don't even think I'm able to do that. So kudos to you. So let's do that. If something changes, and what I mean by that, say we get the transcripts tomorrow, then we'll drive the car the way that we need to. But I do want you to email me because I do want to ask you a question outside of this live stream, and then kind of go from there, if that is okay. Yes, I did drop the link over here in the chat, guys. Make sure you guys check her out. Abraham, do you have anything for closing?
And she should consider maybe doing some videos, reading the notes and giving her perspective because she was there, so she can tell us how she feels about each of how she feels what those text messages mean to you, because it would be great to hear that.
Absolutely.
Most of my, I say, like when I post my videos afterwards, it's this style. I'm going through them, I read it through, and I'll give you the context. And I make a point to say, like, these are the facts, but if I have something that is an opinion, I'll stop, or speculative or alleged, then I say that. But I do keep it, honestly, I keep it to a minimum because I have a higher focus on facts over feelings. Feelings get involved at some point, but I always want to make sure first I'm getting the facts and information out, because sometimes things get misconstrued, miscommunicated, I guess, kind of like that, your post article. And I always want to make sure that facts of these cases get put forth first, because at the end of the day, when it's in court and trial, like that's what this is all determined on.
That's amazing. And actually, I think you only need 500. You had 477 when we check. You're at 542 right now, so you should be able to be monetized.
Thank you.
Yes, shout out to you.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Now, the other thing I'm gonna say is, please get a EDSA. I think that's what they call it now, EDSA disclaimer, because you're pretty detailed, so you don't want to be dinged for details. If you have to say something that's like, you might want to switch the words. Like I had to say, I couldn't say master. I had to say master's degree. So just make sure you put an EDSA.
Yeah, I try to be really careful with like not say, because I know how sensitive it is. So I try to be very careful about how I word things, but relay what it's trying to say without saying it.
Absolutely. I think we all just have to be careful. Look at this. Speaking of Melody Buzzard, her mother's set for a preliminary hearing September 16. Now that's going to be another interesting case that we've been following as well. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you, Abraham. If si mañana cualquier cosa, transcripts, I'll hit you up.
Sí, yo puedo. Sí, yo puedo.
Okay. And I think for Liberty said it was fine. Miss True or the Light
Good
True
night.
Crime. Shout out to you and thank you so much. I will hit me up in the email, and then I'll respond and send you a link and everything. Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
email
you.
you now.
Okay. Thank you
Bye.
guys. Bye. Let me do some shout outs, guys. Make sure you check out The Light True Crime over here. Okay. Check her out, man. Get her up there because, like I said, when we have great creators out here that are, doing the work, Pinche Becky, The Light True Crime, Flojo, Kadisha Lynn, BJ, everybody else, man, we trying to do things right, and we got to be able to support one another and get there for celebrities, everybody. But I got to shout out some people, y'all. I have to shout out some people. Huh? Yeah, maybe later. Sure. Okay. No, you can't go at the back. Okay, go. Yes, honey. She's ready for Halloween, y'all. She's ready for Halloween. All right. Tara, thank you so much for the jewels. Thank you. Thank you. The only Angie, thank you for the jewels. Jane, thank you for the jewels. Estrella Mom Aaron, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Let me put some hearts right here. Maybe if they show up, potentially, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, they didn't show. Come on. Why do you do me this way, YouTube? I'm trying to give some love to the chat. Please put some hearts. Maybe it's my heart. Maybe my heart looks like a square. There we go. Thank you. Tiffany, thank you so much for this. Thank you again, Tiffany. Colombo, thank you for the jewels. Tara, thank you. Didi gifted 10. Thank you, Didi, for gifting. Okay. Does my heart look like a square? No, it doesn't. Looks like a heart. Thank you, Didi. I appreciate it. Not for nothing. Thank you so much for the jewels. Jinx, thank you for becoming a new member. Shout out to you. Remind me, Pika, if you're in the chat, tag me and remind me to drop the link for the new members. Kim, thank you so much for this. And Kim, thank you for coming up. Shout out to the panel members tonight. The wonderful ladies. Thank you guys so much for giving your perspective. Shout out to you. It's not easy to give an opinion up here. Okay, we got a very critical chat, and I love it. I love the chat. Shout out to the chat. Joey, thank you so much for the $4.99. We're breaking, and we're breaking. We're watching and we're judging, but we're not breaking the rules. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Thank you. Is it Alicia? Thank you so much for the jewels. All right. Thank you. Simply Didi, thank you so much. Okay, wait. Thank you for the laughing disco and the jewels. Thank you, love. Simply DJ, thank you. Not DJ, Simply Didi. Thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Morris gifted 5. Thank you, Morris. Here's some hearts, y'all. Make sure you guys support and put your hearts in the chat, maybe. Come on. It's not a square, it's a heart. Oh my God. There it is. Thank you. I'm trying. It's like delayed. Yvonne, thank you for the gold coins. Mickey, thank you for the jewels and the floating heart. Ramona, thank you for the flower. Ava, thank you for the flower. Bear, thank you for the gold coins. Yes. Give me 1 second. Yes. Thank you so much, Joey, for the $4.99. The only thing you take with you when you leave this earth is your integrity. Remember that, people. Well, what they remember you for, right? Thank you. And nobody's perfect. Thank you so much, Joey, for the $4.99. I appreciate it. Danielle, thank you so much for the marshmallow high. Coco's mom, where have you been all my life? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the super chat for a happy meal, slime, or whatever. Thank you. Crafty Chris, thank you so much for the jewels. Is it Sadie? Thank you so much for the trophy goat. Panda, thank you so much for the jewels, not for the panda, for the jewels. Olaya, thank you so much for the sparkles. Sadie, thank you for this. I think I did thank you for that. Obsidian, thank you so much for the You Rock super chat. Princess Jasmine, thank you so much for this. On August 16th, 20, Sheldon Ejaculus was filed as a other criminal lawsuit charges. Oh, this is the record that people are talking about. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Princess Jasmine, for that. Crystal, thank you for the jewels. Crystal, thank you for the jewels. Cameron, thank you for the 5 memberships. Hold up. I'm trying to do the heart, y'all, and I can't. Thank you, Cameron. Y'all, if you've been gifted, put some hearts in the chat. Maybe. No? My heart is not a square. Thank you. Jeez. It's a heart? Yeah. Okay. MJ, thank you. Thank you. Tar, thank you so much for this. Morris, thank you. Morris, thank you. Margie, thank you. Miss K, thank you. All right, y'all, I gotta go. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And also, make sure you subscribe to the Light True Crime. Clearly, amazing note taker. Shout out to her, and shout out to everybody out there. You guys have a great night. Bye, guys. Bye.